right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new here. Thank you guys so much for waiting patiently and waiting for the intro to finish up there. Hope everybody's doing well today on this Sunday. Bringing back Press X podcast. You guys know how it is. We go back and forth with it. Miku fan says drink plenty of water. Well, I have some coffee with me. Alma, what's up? I'm doing all right. You know, just a chill Sunday. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's football Sunday. I saw with Tyson Webb saying go Ravens. Wesley, what's up? Biamed, Irfin, Lady Gamer. Ghetto God, you're about to preload Yote. Nice, dude. Yeah, I'm buying my copy physically. So I guess hopefully it'll get here the day it comes out. It would be disappointing if I had to wait longer. It's Lady Gamer's birthday. Happy birthday, Lady Gamer. Happy birthday. Ghetto God says go Lions. Irfan, what's going on, man? Josh, happy Sunday. Been testing out your modded Venom Midnight Black controller with Hall effects. Nice, dude. Yeah, that sounds pretty sick. Don't have to worry about stick drift. But yeah, appreciate you guys joining me today. It's been a interesting week, certainly. We have more to talk about. Today, I wanted to have a discussion about how insane 2026 looks for for the PS5. Like, it's actually kind of wild. We're gonna be talking about that. Insomniac. Yeah, Insomniac is I don't know, man. They're getting a little bit aggressive out here. They're getting a little bit aggressive out here. They're calling people clowns. You know? We'll talk about that. Well, I mean, that's fine. Yeah. You got to vote with your wallet at the end of the day. For PS5 and PC and probably Xbox. Chris, you finally made it, bro. Good, good. Glad you could join us. See, one of the cats is already out there causing problems. It's going to be the best year of the generation, especially with GTA 6 dropping. Yeah, well, I mean, that's what's kind of crazy is I mean, for a lot of people 2025 was already a really big year. Still is a big year. But it seems like 2026 is going to be a lot crazier, which is wild. Having that, yeah, you could call that a boss statue if you want. Yeah. I got a new position at work. Now I can't be in my office watching your streams anymore. No, Chris. No. Insomniac is getting aggressive after working on Wolverine. Yeah, they're feeling it. They're matching the energy. You thought boss was frozen? Yeah, that's really him, dude. I've trained him. But yeah, I just put that there to kind of represent, you know, the goals. If we hit 25, we'll feed boss some treats. We hit 50, I'll do some reps at the end of the stream. Robert says, goodness gracious, 2026. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, Irfin, maybe we could check that out later in the stream. We might. You said it was new rock stars. There's like a bunch of Easter eggs in the Wolverine trailer that we didn't see. Did Insomniac dog on someone? Yeah. The professional grifters. No, I didn't see that. I saw, I think, like some articles written up about it. Project Retrograde. It's like basically Resident Evil, right? Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Hmm. Yeah, there's been a lot of people breaking down the Wolverine trailer, pointing out things that maybe we missed. I have no doubt that there's a lot I missed. But guys, do me a favor if you haven't already. Take a moment and hit that like button. It definitely helps the streams. We're at 38 likes. I think we could easily get that up to 50. Yeah, I posted that. IGN seemingly accidentally leaking Leon in Resident Evil 9. I have to admit, I'm very surprised that we still haven't gotten the official Leon reveal. I mean, it seems fairly obvious that he's in the game. Um, Capcom did just go on record saying that everything they've shown of Resident Evil 9 is literally the first level of the game. Like they haven't shown any combat. They haven't shown many enemies. Like they really just seemingly have shown one single section of the game, and that's all that they continue to show. So they're clearly continuing to hide Leon in the bigger aspects of this game. But I mean, TGS runs through to September 30th, right? So it's not over yet. But yeah, people, I mean, I was kind of expecting we would have had that reveal at like the State of Play or at TGS by now, but it hasn't happened. So yeah, I don't know, man. I guess they're just taking their good old time. Yeah, I saw that about EA. Apparently, they may end up selling for like $50 billion or something, or some kind of buyout. TGS was really lame this year. Is it over already? Oh, it okay, yeah. Today's the well, I guess it was yesterday, right? I don't know, or is it I think it's over. It was during a section with IGN. I think it was a little while ago. No, Dreadful. It's not a boss statue. No, it's a picture. I guess it kind of does look like a statue, though. It's a really good picture. It's just a picture of boss. You could view it as a statue, though. We did tell Corey a long time ago we would eventually get a boss statue, so close enough. But yeah, TGS seemingly was kind of not good this year. Um, yeah. So I don't have that. Hold on. I just realized that was muted again. Cape Crusader. Well, no, I'm not boycotting it.
Hey MBG, thanks for being here. BROAHH.
Hold
My
on.
uncle is the hospital and ICU and very hard to hold my tears, BK. But you being here keep me from anti going crazy.
All right, hold on. A couple things here. I'm going to respond the perfect image, and then I'm going to respond the Cape Crusader. Tarnished, you're saying MBG, your mic is capturing your voice on and off. Guys, are there any problems with the mic? Are there some audio issues? Where's boss? He's here somewhere. He's on the other side of the room. Yeah, Tarnished. I don't know. Everybody's saying you're hearing static audio. That's strange. Yeah, I don't know. It might be on your end. Oh, there he is. There's boss. I didn't realize he was out there. What's up, dude? Come up here. Come on. Try not to knock everything over though. Perfect image. First off, thank you for the donation. I'm really sorry to hear about your uncle being in the hospital. That's rough, man. You're saying he's in the ICU, so it must be pretty serious. But yeah, I don't know, man. I guess just try to like listen into the stream if it helps keep you distracted. And you're saying it's helping you from not going crazy. I'm really sorry to hear that, dude. So we'll hope for the best. Perfect image, and we'll try to distract you a little bit. Surely, boss is gonna try though. Come on, dude. Go. There you go. But yeah, perfect image. Thank you for during a situation like that, even taking time to drop a $2 donation. Oh, boss, don't you dare, don't you dare start biting my stuff. Hey, hey, don't don't do it. Over here, over here. Cape Crusader. No, I'm not boycotting Ghost of Yote. I did put out a stream originally saying that if Sucker Punch didn't do something or like take any type of action whatsoever, I was gonna have to pass on it, which I guess would be like boycotting it. But I made it clear that if Sucker Punch did something, they would have my support. I just thought it was appropriate for them to do or say something, and they did. They did. So yeah, I didn't. Okay, hold on. Dude, what are you doing? 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 Don't start biting my stuff, dude. Unbelievable. It's literally biting my dual sense. Like, stop. Why? Yeah, the trophy list is out there. Yeah, that's the thing, dude. People, I guess, are trying to like bust my balls. Not you, Cape Crusader, but people are trying to like bust my balls, being like, oh, how's that boycott going or whatever? Or like, too bad you're not gonna be able to play the game and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, I'm tired of people not listening to my content and then thinking that they know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? And it's frustrating because it's like I made it as clear as I possibly could. It like the stream is still up, you know, and there's just people who want to not listen and then tell everybody. And I said it probably literally, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm using the word literally appropriately here. I said it literally probably 25 plus times. 20 in that stream that I want to support the game. I've been somebody who's been backing up Ghost of Yote even when it was getting some unfair hate. But I just simply said that, I need to see Sucker Punch say or do. I just need to see Sucker Punch take some kind of action and respond with what was going on with, the situation. And they did. They did twice. And I said very clearly in that stream, like 25 times, if they do that, they will have my support. You know, I'll respect that and I'll support their game because that's what I want to do. And that's exactly what they did. And, there are people out here where it's like, for some reason, they just didn't want to hear that part. They, it falls into the category of you have these grifters that just, it'll never be enough. You know what I mean?
Yo,
It'll never be
MBG,
enough. They'll
just
always
so I
move the
get this right,
goalposts.
in 2026 as a PS5 gamer I get Phantom Blade Zero, Wolverine, Saros in every single Xbox Studios and third-party game?
SDO, so just to wrap it up, Cape Crusader, I am still going to be playing Ghost of Yote, so you don't have to worry about that. That situation, as far as I'm concerned, is water under the bridge at this point, so no worries. And I understand that, not everybody's going to be able to keep up with all the content, so hopefully that clears it up. And SDO, you're saying in 2026, as a PS5 gamer, I get Phantom Blade Zero, Wolverine, Saros, and every single Xbox Studios and third-party game. I don't know that we could say every single Xbox Game Studios title. You're going to get the overwhelming majority of third-party games. You're getting Phantom Blade Zero, Wolverine, GTA 6, Saros. Forza Horizon 6 was confirmed for PlayStation 5. They just didn't say whether or not they said it's coming post launch. So that could mean a month later. That could mean 6 months later. It could mean 3 months, could mean a year. We don't know exactly what the date is, but they did confirm it.
Will you play the game with no prejudgments, or will you go in with preconceived notions, looking for woke, rather than enjoying the experience?
It's a good question, Caped Crusader, and I'll answer that in just a moment. SDO, be on the lookout for what's going on with Xbox Game Studios because, dude, like, boss, I'm just trying to talk, man. Like, I gave you your own picture and everything. Chill, chill. Oh my God, this cat, he's really rambunctious today. I just want to say that, you know, when it comes to what's going on with Xbox, like, dude, I think it's abundantly clear that Microsoft is way in the publisher lane. They still have hardware. We found out like Costco isn't carrying Xboxes anymore. They just announced the price of the Xbox ROG Ally X. It's $1,000, and it's just like, and you know they announced Forza Horizon 6, and they did confirm it's coming to PS5. So you know, I think it is kind of fair to say that everything you listed, yeah, it seems to be where PlayStation 5 is going to be positioned in 2026, dude. And Cape Crusader, no, I'm not going to be going in with any prejudgments or preconceived notions. I'm the last person that's going to be looking for woke in Ghost of Yote. Uh, it would have to be something truly egregious, truly like, you know, just like in your face and obvious. But everything I've heard about Ghost of Yote's story, surprisingly, the reviews that I've read, most of them, they're saying that the story of Ghost of Yote is actually better than Tsushima, which is very surprising to me. Like, the story of Tsushima was very good in my opinion, and Yote's would have to be really good to surpass it. But I've read multiple reviews of people saying that the story and the characters, it's actually better than Tsushima. So I'm not going in with any. I am the last person that's going to go into a game that I'm excited to play, waiting to find something. Because I honestly believe that people who do that are kind of ruining it for themselves. Because if you go in with that type of mentality, you're gonna find you'll find something, you know. And that's kind of what I was alluding to with Insomniac calling people clowns. Insomniac is clearly calling out the grifters, and that's literally what they are. They are grifters. They are people who will just move to whatever they need to keep, you know, keep it going, to keep, you know, swindling people and whatever. Um, Insomniac is calling them clowns because, you know, you see it trending on like Twitter, where it's like people are pointing out the smallest, dumbest thing that 99% of people aren't even going to give a second thought, and to tell you like this is a problem with this Wolverine trailer. But in reality, it's like, no, it's not. You need it to be a problem. You want it to be a problem. Nobody else thinks this is a problem. You're the problem, you know? And you're the problem because you went into this 2-minute trailer that we've all been waiting years for, just looking, scanning, you know, scanning up and down, combing, going through with a fine-tooth comb, just trying to find the smallest thing you could latch onto. And that's why I think Insomniac is right to call them out and call them clowns, because that it like they're showing their true colors. They're showing that like you never wanted this game to be good. You never cared about Wolverine. You never cared about, you know, gamers getting a good Wolverine game. And you never cared about any of that. All you cared about was just continuing to feed the preconceived notions that you need, you know, and fanning those flames so that way, you know, you could just keep raking in the views and raking in the money. And it's just like, yeah, I think we've just reached that point where we have to kind of call it for what it is. And it is literally, I know the term is overused, but it's literally a grift. These people are con artists. They don't care about this industry. They don't care about what it, you know, they don't care about video games. They just care about lining their pockets. And that should be abundantly obvious to everybody by this point. Um, are there some genuine people who had concerns and reservations about Wolverine and how Insomniac was going to handle it? Yeah. Yeah. And, are those people, is it a problem that they had skepticism? No, I don't think so at all. But I just think we've reached that point where, everybody was waiting with bated breath to see like the big Wolverine reveal. And, you know, see that's bullshit, Grey Wolf. I think that's bullshit. You're saying I just enjoyed the drama that was Yote and used it for likes and views? Like I'm assuming you're talking to me, unless you're talking to somebody else in the chat. If that's what you're talking about, see, that's what was frustrating to see is people are quick to say something like that, you know? But they're just as they completely ignore like what about the last 12 months of me defending that game against the actual crazy ridiculous nonsense that people were throwing at it. That just goes out the window. And I understand why this is. It's like you're saying most people do it. It's gotten to a point where you can't have some kind of nuanced middle ground take on things. You can't change your mind about anything. You can't have a different view on anything. It's got to be one way or the other all the time. It's got to be the best thing ever or the worst piece of shit ever created. And it's just like, I don't know, man. I wish people would just kind of realize that it's not good to exist in those zones. And everybody is seemingly being conditioned to exist in those zones at all times regarding all things. But yeah, the drama was not enjoyable. I didn't even view it as drama, to be honest, and it was not enjoyable. Um, it. I get it though. People are gonna view things as they want to view things, man. And the the funniest thing to me, and I guess this is just me defending myself a little bit. And Cape Crusader, thank you for that, buddy. He renews his membership. Thank you for showing support, Cape Crusader. I do appreciate it. Hold on. Let me add that to the goal here. So Cape Crusader kicks it off. There's people who are like trying to accuse me of like now I'm trying to become one of these grifters out here, that's like I'm gonna jump on the everything's woke bandwagon. And it's like, dude, if that's what I wanted to do, why would I not be doing it now? Why would I have not been doing it this whole time? That's the thing that gets me is it's like the accusations that people are throwing my way where it's like, listen, you don't have to agree with that particular take or how I'm feeling about this game in this moment. But it's like people should know by now. And it's just sad because like they don't want to know. They just want to assume people should know by now that that's the last thing we do here. Like at least me, I can't speak for anybody else but myself. I don't do that. I don't jump to conclusions. In fact, I am the person that has been out here for the last year, if anything, pushing back against that. Like telling people don't jump to conclusions with Intergalactic or with Ghost of Yote. Like give them a chance. Let them show their hand. Let them show what they're doing. And people just ignore that. They just throw that under the bus because they're like, nah, bro, you just, you had one instance where you said this thing that one time. And so that's there it is. That defines you entirely. It's like, okay, like, why don't, if you could show the consistent pattern, maybe, but that's the difference is the people that Insomniac is calling out and pointing to, these are people where this is literally all they do 24/7. It's all they do. It's why, like, dude, do you think these channels are going to succeed celebrating Wolverine? No, they know they can't. They know they will fail. They know that if they come out and say, you know what, Wolverine actually looks good, bro. Turns out we were wrong. It actually looks good. They're going to lose their viewers. Their viewers are going to turn on them and say, oh, what? So you like it now? You're okay with this? What do you mean? And they know that. They know that like they are trapped. They are completely trapped where they can only say things one way all the time. And if they ever try to, walk it back, if they ever try to have any ounce of humility, they will get steamrolled, because that is the type of audience that they've cultivated. They've cultivated it's a one-way street audience, and if you ever question it, you're going to get torn up by that audience that you've cultivated. And I just think that that's more common now than ever before. It's nothing new. And it's hard to feel sorry for people like that when it's like all you need is just an ounce of humility. It's okay. It's okay to turn and say, you know what? Maybe we were wrong to immediately assume that Insomniac was a dumpster fire studio that was going to produce a dumpster fire Wolverine. Maybe it's okay to say it's actually going to be good. Well, guess what? For most people, it's okay to say that, because most people aren't out here every day jumping on this is woke and that is woke and everything's woke 24/7. There are things that need to be called out. There are things that should be highlighted and maybe observed and think, should we be concerned about this? What does this mean? It's fine. It's fine. But when you get, the bad actors that come in where it's like, well, I just want to do this to, we just want to profit off of everybody's rage, But yeah, a little bit of a rant there. Serious question: Pizza Hut, Domino's, or Papa John's? I mean, I like Papa John's. I like Domino's. Not a big fan of Pizza Hut. The replies under the Insomniac tweet are just gold. Most big channels have a one-tone message. That's true. That is true. And there's nothing wrong with having your convictions, but I just think, I don't know. It's like it's been weird to see the way some people have been reacting to me saying like, yeah, I am going to buy Ghost of Yote, where it's like, what do you mean, bro? What are you, a hypocrite? It's like, actually, no, I'm not. I'm the opposite of a hypocrite. I'm being a man of my word. That's what I'm being.
Pizza Hut or Papa John's for me.
Yo, New Soul's hung up on that pizza question. I can't get behind pizza. I mean, I had Pizza Hut somewhat recently, and it was better than I remember, but Papa John's, I don't know. I really like Papa John's. I've always enjoyed the way, I don't know. I mean, I know like their whole tagline was like better ingredients, better pizza. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but it sure tastes good. I like it.
Speaking of woke, Kojima FU. How dare you give XP odd aka PT, which was a PS game. I hope her game flops.
Bro,
and anyone
who
who buys it gets
fucking
bacterial infection.
In the chat? Oh my god, dude. They're banning people. Like, you mean people like you that come in and spam and ruin the chat? Yes, you do get banned because it's fucking annoying. Dude, oh man. That person woke up and chose violence today in the chat. Rich Rod, I'm sorry, but I didn't hear your direct. You said here, speaking of woke, Kojima FU, how dare you give Xbox OD aka PT, which was a PS game. I hope your game flops and anyone who buys it gets bacterial infections. Bro. Really, Rich? Bacterial infections? This is where we are. Well, Rich, I don't know if this will make you feel any better, but the reason why Kojima seemingly chose to partner with Microsoft for OD, I think, is because OD was originally pitched to Google because it was going to use cloud technology. And it seems like the next best stop was maybe Microsoft with Xbox, because they're Microsoft's a cloud company. Sony, they're involved in the cloud, but they're not really as well established or known for it. You're saying no excuses? Well, hey, I tried. I still think it looks good though. I still think it looks good. I don't care. It seems like it's going to be available everywhere though, Rich. So I don't think you have to worry. Wolverine looks sublime, violent. Actually, the blood they're doing this time around uses. Oh, hold on. Wait. I lost you. Physicalized 3D droplets of blood through fluid simulations, not sprite based like almost all games. That's crazy. Dude, that's so awesome. Yeah, they were, I think, talking about that. They were bragging about the fact that they have like blood technology. I'm like, that's pretty sick. How many games can say that? Insomniac did the impossible and made you more excited for Wolverine in GTA 6. Damn, dude. I mean, I don't know if I could say I'm more excited for it, but I think I can say I'm as excited for it. I think they're like tied up at this point because I mean, when Wolverine was announced, like I said, that was like a dream game for me. And, there was this natural trepidation of like, are they going to nail it? And it's like, after seeing that trailer, it's like, holy shit. Okay. Looks like they did more than just nail it. But yeah, I was sorry for going on like a tangent, but I just feel like some people are trying to call me out for the wrong reasons. And I get it. Like, have people called me out for things where I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, you got me on that one, sure. But I think this is one of those instances where it's like, dude, I don't understand why you would call me out when it's like, I'm saying if Sucker Punch does this thing, I will support their game and buy it. And then they do that thing, and then I say I'm gonna support it and buy it. Like, you get what I'm saying? I just don't understand why some people like have such a problem with that. And I get like if the biggest argument that somebody wants to throw my way is, well, this is a stupid reason to not get a game. Okay, that's fine. I get it. Cool. Maybe there is a conversation to be had there, but I just think some people, I don't know. Some people get a little too boss. Dude, I'm going to kick you out of this room. I know you guys, I don't know if you can see him, but dude, sorry. Don't start biting stuff. I don't know what's gotten into him. Well, dude, Diego, apparently people increased the brightness like as much as they possibly could for that Fizzant picture. And they zoomed in and like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that does look a lot like Robert Pattinson. And Kojima's taken some pictures with him and said that he can't talk about what they're talking about. So, Dwayne, what's up, man? Weekend was pretty good. Just kind of chilled a little bit. Don't. Dude, you gotta go. You gotta go. Yeah, out. I've had enough, bro. You're planning on going to a Metal Gear Solid concert in November? Oh, that's pretty sick, Dwayne. You have to let me know how that is, dude. A Metal Gear concert. Not bad. Not bad. Since Borderlands is delayed indefinitely on Switch 2, we'll just get MGS Delta. Yeah, last stream we were checking out the Metal Gear multiplayer mode. Looks really good. I'm stoked for it. Yeah, boss has been taxidermied. How's he showing up? Oh, you can see him. Okay, it's a little cut off here, but he's here. He's kind of camoed. You can see his tail. You don't think the Switch 2 is getting those games? I remember there was a rumor that the Switch 2 was supposed to be getting like Metal Gear Solid Delta, but that announcement never came. Not sure if Death Stranding did that well on Xbox. I just want to say, bro, um, for the last couple of months, every single day, I've had to deal with seeing so many people tell me Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man, Returnal, God of War. Like, I'm just, look, man, is Spider-Man on Xbox yet? Where is it? Did it happen? I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying, it didn't? No, we're getting Wolverine PS5, Soros PS5. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. People were telling me with a fair amount of certainty that Sony was done with exclusives. Meanwhile, you look at the state of play and they're like, we got 2 PS5 games for you. BGC said Soros is going to be the next big thing. I could believe it. I'm stoked for Soros. I feel like it's definitely getting a little overshadowed by Wolverine, understandably. But yeah, guys, hit that like button. We're almost at 100 likes. Damn unknown. Why would Sony port to a dying platform like Xbox? Well, that's the thing they did with Helldivers. I'm just saying, like, people were, I think, jumping the gun with the Helldiver situation. And I'm not here to say that Sony won't do anything like that. But I'm just saying, like, I've had to hear and read, a lot of people. They're letting me know. It's over, dude. Sony's doing what Sony's copying Microsoft now. It's happening. Deal with it. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe, I guess. Yeah, I didn't think Helldivers would go to Xbox. But I just think it's interesting that, Sony does their corporate meeting. They signal to their shareholders that we're refocusing on the PS5. That's our main priority. They don't put any emphasis on third-party revenue or multi-platform revenue. And then immediately after, we get a state of play, and they're not. I'm just saying, here's the difference between Xbox and PlayStation. I'll put it as simply as I can. When Xbox announces Forza Horizon 6, they let you know it will be coming to PlayStation 5. Okay? They let you know. They don't say exactly when, but they're letting you know it's coming to PS5. And that's intentional. They want PlayStation 5 owners to know you will be able to play this game. When Sony announces Wolverine for PS5 or Soros for PS5, they're not saying that. They're not turning to Xbox players and saying, we're going to bring it to Xbox. But I continue to see Xbox players and, Xbox-oriented people behaving that way. Like, that is what they're doing. And it's like, listen, man, it's cool if you want to play these games. It's cool if you like the idea that they could one day come to Xbox. But I'm not really talking about those people. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that are like, they're just treating it like it's going to happen. And it's like, well, the reality is you might end up playing Wolverine on your Xbox, but in a different way than we expected. You might end up playing Wolverine on your Xbox through Steam, and there you go. That's how you can access it. And to be honest, I don't think Sony would be upset about that. I don't think Microsoft has a problem with that either, because they're going to be the ones letting Steam on their box. But I'm just trying to say that I don't think you're going to see Sony come out and say, here's the Last of Us Xbox port. I think, people are thinking that's going to happen with Spider-Man. I don't think so. Like, I'm starting to think that Sony actually is kind of committed to doing like timed exclusivity. I mean, like to a consequential degree, I guess is how I would put it. Dude, yeah, Digital Dude, I saw that. That shit was funny. I was actually really cringing at first, where I was like, oh my God, they're copying Call of Duty by putting like celebrities, like a live action Call of Duty trailer with celebrities. And then they actually did it just to make fun. All right, you're out. Hold on, guys. All right. I had to kick boss out. He just pretty sure he just put hold on. He's biting stuff. I don't know why he's biting stuff. He's being like really not good. He's actually like destroying certain things. So he is now a liability. So yeah. Maybe he doesn't like the fact that I put his picture up.
World premiere. World premiere. Again world premiere. On your GTA tweet. Please play before 1 p.m. M. Rich, also XP gamers, you're filthy. Sick.
Rich, thank you for that. I don't know if I'll be able to play it, Rich. I don't know. A lot of people are going to just immediately leave. You know, they're coming here for some gaming talk and they're going to be listening. But we'll see. We'll save it maybe for an upcoming stream. Microsoft can't just put Steam on their devices. People will have to download it. Oh, yeah, true. True. I think you're right about that. I had to ban boss to the Shadow Realm. Dude, I don't know what's gotten into him. He's being really bad today. Like, abnormally. I don't know. You're here for the cat talk. He's here for the cat talk, bro. And Silent Spartan. Yo. Silent Spartan, the membership monster. He appears out of nowhere. He drops 50 membership gifts for you guys. Holy shit, dude.
Holy shit.
Maybe Silent Spartan he was upset that I had to ban boss to the Shadow Realm. Oh my god. Guys, I need to see W's in the chat for Silent Spartan. He's coming in again. He just killed the entire goal. He crushed it. We were sitting at 1 out of 50, and he just dropped 50, brings us to 51. W's in the chat. Dude, Silent Spartan, once again, bro, thank you so much for not only stopping by and watching the channel, but just dropping another 50 member gifts for the community here. Amazing. You've done such incredible work for the community here. Damn, dude. I was not expecting that. Well, there we go. Guys, listen. I told you a couple days ago that we were probably going to be slacking on the members content this week due to the state of play and the chaos of that and TGS and the events and whatnot. But, you know, for me, this is the start of a new week. So we will have more content coming, members content, that is. We're going to be probably doing some members gameplay. We're going to be doing some members lounges. And I'm just saying this because if you were lucky enough to get gifted a membership from Silent Spartan, you can go check out the previous members content that I put out there. That'll be available to you for as long as you're a member, and you can look forward to the upcoming content. So good stuff, man. Yeah, when we get people like Silent Spartan coming in, dropping massive donations like this, it's what allows me to continue to do this. It's why I can continue to do these Sunday streams and Press X podcasts and talk about all these games. So, yeah, if you got gifted a membership, make sure you thank Silent Spartan for that. And there we go. There we go. I guess I'm going to have to bring Boss back in and give him treats, though. Well, maybe it'll calm him down, though. Maybe that's what it is. So let me update the member goal. And here's what we'll do. I'm going to start this today, too. I like to keep the member goal at this point at 50 because there's like 2 goals we go for, but I cap it out at 100. That's usually the trajectory we go in. So I'm not expecting to get to 100, and there's no pressure. If you want to do it, by all means. But we cap it at 100. We don't go past it. You guys can always donate past 100, but I want to like have like an end goal of some sort, so that way it doesn't feel like it's just constantly moving forward, you know? So 100 is where we end it, but yeah, so we're going to feed the beast, and we'll do some reps at the end of the stream as well. But once again, sorry to sound so long-winded, but Silent Spartan, thank you so much for that, man. It's very kind of you.
Boasty me. It's time to feed the beast.
Yeah, he wants me to get the Xbox ROG Ally X. I'll let him in now. And Rich Rod says Silent sent that to play the song. He told me this. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Rich. Here, boss. Oh, that's too much. That's definitely too much. Come on, go ahead. I'll give you some too. Almost just tripped and fell on my desk. You think Forza Horizon 6 is in trouble? Why do you think that? Yeah, thank you, Spartan. I appreciate that, dude. This is MBG Demands the song. Rich, what post did you say it was under? The GTA post? I'll see how long it is. Because the past couple songs have been like 4 or 5 minutes. It's like 2 minutes.
You sold your soul to the enemy, flashing green lights, blinded destiny. No honor, no code, just a hollow greed. Kojima, you failed, yeah, you planted the seed. Disrespectful, disgusted, your mirror cracks open, flops open, shatters, never bounce back, blinding their eyes, make them feel the sting. Kojima, you're no god, you're just a broken king. Just a broken king. Yote woke, we see through the smoke. Your empire's ash, just a punchline joke. Sucker punch, nah, sucker's dream. Your betrayal cuts deep, splits the seams. Legacy drowned in neon slime. Xbox shadows eating your prime. Disrespectful, disgusted, your mirror cracks open, flops open, shadows never bounce back, blinding their eyes, make them feel the sting. Kojima, you're no god, you're just a broken king. Just a broken king. Chained to a console that's rusted and dead. Your vision sold out. Your fire's been bled from the heights of the stars to the dirt of the floor. Kojima, we don't know you anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
How dare you, Rich? How dare you make me do reps to a song dissing Kojima? I'm certain Silent Spartan did not ask for that. It wasn't that bad, though. Why am I pumping iron? I just joined the stream. Why are you pumping iron? Well, I just figured we'll do the reps now. Rich Rod, he had a 2-minute song. And at the time he was asking me to play it, Silent Spartan dropped 50 memberships, which pretty much crushed the goal single-handedly. So figure we get him early. So there we go. Now that that's out of the way, what were we talking about? Now the Wolverine breakdown video. We are going to have to check that out. We'll check that out in a little bit. I do want to continue the gaming discussion. See, Rich, this is why I don't like doing the reps early, though, or playing songs like that, because I do
Silent
lose
sent that to
people.
play the song. He told me this.
I do lose people. Like I thought we were talking about games, man. But hopefully they'll come back. Um but yeah, that wasn't the worst. That wasn't the worst. You gotta stop with that Kojima hate though, man. OD looks great. OD looks amazing. Hypocrite MBG denounces Kojima. Please tell me that's not real. Jack, please tell me that's not real, man. Michael, you got to go watch the Eagles game? All right, bro. Well, I appreciate you stopping by for a little bit. Hopefully you come back later this week. Encourage people to like the stream again. It works too well. But yeah, hopefully the Eagles win. Yeah, MBG aggressively denounces Kojima and his Xbox exclusive OD by playing AI music and doing curls. I'm pretty sure OD is going to be available on PS5. There's something peculiar going on with OD where I think it is just going to be a purely cloud game potentially, where you could just play it on literally anything, on anything. So when they say for all gamers, I kind of think that's what they're leaning into. I could be wrong though. There's still a lot we don't know about OD. Well, yeah, Kojima, you're saying a large part of Kojima's fan base is on PlayStation. Microsoft knows this. Well, that's absolutely true. I mean, what's crazy is that in the eyes of like a lot of gamers, the best PlayStation 1 game is Metal Gear Solid 1. And that was, I guess, exclusive when it came out. But it's so funny to me how like that game, the original Metal Gear Solid, obviously the game that really catapulted Kojima and Kojima Productions and Konami. It's just so fascinating to me that Kojima has always kind of had this tie to PlayStation, where when you see how Sony pursued him so aggressively, by being like, you want to use the Decima engine, hang out with Mark Cerny and Herman Holst and stuff, and they signed this deal for Death Stranding. There is precedent for it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of these situations where it's like, they're not just chasing it for the sake of it. It's like Kojima has a strong history with PlayStation. So I think that's what makes OD being an Xbox published title so strange to a lot of people, where it's like, that's not necessarily what we would have expected. But what's even stranger to me is the idea that what we're seeing with OD, could you imagine if you saw like Google Publishing or something, or like Stadia Publishing as at the end? That's what it was supposed to be, apparently. It was supposed to be like a Stadia game. So I don't know. I think maybe it is better ultimately that it maybe ended up with Xbox. But I think it's a fair distribution. You give Microsoft the smaller but much desired horror game from Kojima, and Sony funds the big blockbuster reimagining / spiritual successor to Metal Gear Solid. I think that is a pretty fair trade, or fair distribution, I would say.
At MBG, because OD is based on Club infrastructure, shouldn't the one that are against Club and digital have a problem with the game having that type of foundation?
I just want to take a moment to acknowledge how you said Club both times. I know you meant cloud though. I think it depends. I mean, New Soul, I have seen some people that are already distraught at the notion of this being a cloud-based game. I have seen some people basically saying that because they know it's a cloud-based game, they're not excited for it, or they're just not interested in it. So I think that does exist. I think more than anything, New Soul, there's a kind of nervousness with maybe not nervousness, skepticism is the word I would look for, because we've been anything that's been kind of pushed with cloud behind it in gaming has turned out to be, if not a lot of smoke and mirrors, just ultimately underwhelming. And I think because of that, anytime you hear cloud being associated with a big push for a game or a platform or anything of that nature, people are just automatically like, yeah, I don't know. I don't believe you. You know, cloud this, cloud that. It's all like hype, basically. So I think because this game is supposedly going to be taking advantage of cloud technology, which I think it is, there's automatically people that are like, I'm not interested. But I don't know. I don't think we've ever seen something like this from Kojima, and we don't know to what extent the cloud technology is going to be utilized for OD. So it's possible that this could really be like the first cloud-based game or game that's developed utilizing cloud technology that really comes out and is like, whoa, okay, so this is kind of what can be achieved if it's done right. It could end up winning people over, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think it's a fair question to ask, New Soul. There's a lot of people in gaming that are just completely against cloud in any sense, especially if it's coming from Microsoft. You know, um, I'm not a big fan of cloud gaming. I don't have a problem with it per se, unless it's like what we saw with Google Stadia, where it's like, well, this is the only way. Like, you know, we just want to push cloud gaming, and that's the future, and that's the only way you're gonna be able to play your games. As long as you're not doing something like that. Um, but yeah, like when I think of OD, I don't imagine I'm gonna be able to buy like a physical copy of it for like my PlayStation 5. Um, Again, I think there's something going on with OD that it's clear to me that there's many different aspects of OD that are kind of being still hidden and not fully revealed, and it'll be interesting to see what those aspects are and how we react to it. Well, yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying, Lone Wolf Gamer. I feel like cloud, when people talk about cloud technology, we know that it can be used to enhance a game if you're like running certain, like half of this game is being run off the cloud or something, and it's what allows it to do things that would otherwise be impossible if it was tethered, if it was just running like natively off the hardware. You know, we've had those promises before. I remember like Crackdown 3, ironically enough, was a game that promised the cloud, or the use of the cloud technology. Um, and we saw how that turned out. It was like very underwhelming and disappointing. Um, I mean, what I do know is that when you look at the OD trailer, something that people were very impressed by was the graphical fidelity, where it looked hyper realistic. And I don't, they didn't say it was like running on an Xbox. They didn't say it was running on anything, if I recall. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong about that, but I watched that trailer multiple times. I didn't see them saying it was running on anything specifically. So I do wonder if like the revelation at some point is going to be that the game is running entirely on the cloud. And I think that's what we kind of are talking about in the case of OD. And again, if that's what it ends up being, then it would make sense when they say a game for everyone. And, you know, it literally means that like if you're, you know, you could get your mother potentially to play this game on her phone or her tablet or something. Um, I do think there's this kind of push with OD from not just Kojima, but from Microsoft, where like they do want this to be something that, because remember how Kojima talked about it. He always said that it is a game, but it's kind of different. It's like a game, but it's not. And he kept kind of like alluding to this idea that kept making people feel like, so are you making a movie? Like, is this like is this like an Until Dawn type thing? And he didn't really elaborate. And I think what he's been trying to say is that it's something that anybody can play because it's going to be available like on every single device. You could just stream it ultimately. If you have a device that can stream, you'll be able to stream it. But the distribution of it, I guess, is really what we would have to call into question. Where it's like, okay, well, like, do you have to download the Xbox app, or is it going to be on like all storefronts? Like, would you be able to stream it right through PlayStation? I don't know how it's going to work. Like, will it be on? Is it possible that it could end up on like video streaming apps? I don't know. I don't know how far they want to take it. I just think that Kojima's made it clear that he's trying to do something different with this, and I think Microsoft is the perfect partner because Microsoft is like, you can do whatever you want. We're just glad to have you. Like, we never thought this would happen. You know what I mean? Like, we'll just whatever you want, Kojima. We're behind it. You know. So I think Kojima's going to try to like use that to his advantage. So I don't know. Yeah, you'll be playing OD on your fridge, but I think it looks good. I am more excited for Fizzant ultimately though, just because I love the prospect of. I just can't get over the prospect of a spiritual successor to Metal Gear Solid and what that looks like, man. I kind of have this vision in my mind where, like, we talked about Metal Gear Solid 1 earlier, and for a lot of people, Metal Gear Solid 1 is the defining game for the PlayStation 1 experience. And it's what, like, introduced them to PlayStation. And they think about Shadow Moses and the cutscenes and how, like, cinematic it was. And, you know, most people up to that point have never experienced or played anything like that. And just imagining how, like, Fizzant 6 generations later is going to be, like, the full realization of, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's going to be a hell of a thing to see the comparisons, inevitably, of Metal Gear Solid 1, you know, running on PS1, 6 generations later, Fizzant, or whatever the final name will be, running on PlayStation 6. Like, that to me is going to be a crazy thing to witness. And I think it's going to be even, because like the thing for me though is like I was really young with the PlayStation 1 and I didn't play Metal Gear Solid 1 like as soon as it came out. Obviously, I was a bit late to it. But I think it's going to be a really wild thing for people who were like teenagers or adults playing Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PS1 and then to make it this far to see what Fizzant's going to end up being on the PlayStation 6. That's pretty crazy. It reminds me of and this is when I'm playing Spider-Man 1 on the PS1 and then seeing Spider-Man 2 on the PS5. It's like, holy shit, you know, like Spider-Man and Venom together. It's like, this is crazy. This is wild. Let me see. My YouTube studio just crashed. A modern MGS1 game would be too short. They would need to expand it. Yeah, they would have their work cut out for them, I think, if they're going to remake Metal Gear Solid 1, which I think they are. Yo, imagine Sony scores Metal Gear Solid 1 remake as a timed, or just a full even, like, PlayStation 6 launch exclusive or something. How crazy would that be? The best of Death Stranding and the best of Metal Gear Solid into one game. Oh, damn. MGS1 and FF7 were the games that made me see the potential of video games as a legitimate form of narrative media. Yeah, it's interesting when you think about the history of PlayStation, how that's kind of always been there. You know, you see with PlayStation Studios how a big aspect of what, like when you hear Herman Holst and Hideaki Nishino, when they talk about like these rich, the way they like describe it, like these rich narrative driven single player experiences that define PlayStation or have defined PlayStation, it sounds very much like marketing and PR or like word salad, but there's actually like legitimate truth to that. We're going back to the PS1, those two games, while they weren't, again, they weren't studios that were owned by Sony. They were games that were very much backed up by Sony, especially like Final Fantasy. They had to fight to get that on the PlayStation. And it's exactly what you're saying. Like those are games that made people kind of be like, holy shit, I didn't think video games could be this. And yeah, man, I guess it makes you start to realize getting kind of old, you know? What's my Game of the Year nomination predictions? I'm going to save them for now. I want to play Ghost of Yote first. I mean, I think, you know, games like Expedition 33, I think Death Stranding 2 right now, Death Stranding 2 is still my game of the year. I think that'll be up there. I think Split Fiction, I think will be a game of the year nominee. Maybe Silk Song, possibly. Hades 2 just dropped to like incredible reviews. Lady Gamer, you're 45 today. Intergalactic will redefine gaming once again. You think so, Tarnished? Kojima has directed 16 games. Snatcher and Police Knots are the two games most people have never heard of. I've heard of them. I've never played them, though. But yeah, I'll talk more about. I'll do my game of the year predictions when we get closer to December. Like I said, I think there are a couple of titles that are just for sure going to be there, but we still have some games left to release. I wonder if Ghost of Yote will be up for running for game of the year. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima was, right? Right? Or am I misremembering? Yeah, December is going to be exciting. The Game Awards have gotten bigger each year, so I think it's going to be huge. It's always huge, really. But a lot of like publishers now gravitate towards the Game Awards because it gets so much viewership. And we have a overexposure, a member for 13 months. Thank you for that, buddy, who says, did you guys see The Last Guardian is going to get a movie adaptation? I'm a big fan, so I can't wait, but I don't know if you've covered it yet. I feel like I covered it in a video, overexposure. And yeah, this was something we learned about like a month ago, roughly. And that's interesting to me. That's interesting to me because I could kind of see how a game like that could be adapted, but I don't know. It makes me wonder if we'd ever get like a Shadow of the Colossus movie or something. I didn't play The Last Guardian. I played Shadow of the Colossus. I was recommended The Last Guardian, but never got around to playing it. But I've heard really good things about it. I would check it out if they make a movie. There was like talk that there's a Jack and Daxter movie as well that Sony's been considering. I don't know if maybe that was just something they were floating, like an idea they were floating, but it ended up not working out. And I think, no joke, Tom Holland was in consideration to play Jack. Yeah. Do you plan on trying Battlefield 6 or Black Ops 7? It'd be fun to do a multiplayer session with some of your followers again. Right now, the plan is to play Battlefield 6. I might still get if I'm being honest with myself, I'll probably still get Call of Duty, mostly for the zombies experience, potentially. But yeah, Battlefield 6, I'm planning on hopefully having day one, and that would be cool. Yeah, I heard that, Irfan. Tom Henderson was reporting that apparently the campaign in Battlefield 6 is not very good. Or like at the very least, that shouldn't be your main reason for picking it up because you might end up being disappointed. It's kind of rough. Luckily, I'm not really buying Battlefield 6 for the campaign. I'll play it. Might even try to platinum it if it's not too, difficult. But yeah, I did play the Battlefield 6 beta and I really enjoyed it. I really did. I have to admit. I just get stressed sometimes at the idea of like Battlefield now is going to be a full-blown live service, and then I do want to play Call of Duty. Like that's obviously been a live service for many years, and it's hard to keep up with some of these games. Plus, I have all these single-player games that I still want to get around to playing as well. So, baby steps stream when? Oh, I don't know if I'm going to play Baby Steps, dude. Yeah, I don't know about that. Don't get Call of Duty, never support Xbox. Well, we'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll end up enjoying Battlefield so much that I'm like, I don't think I really want to play Call of Duty at all. Call of Duty always has the zombies experience though, and they kind of get me with that. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna become a baby steps channel. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. That's the way forward. Um, no, I haven't gotten around the Silent Hill F yet. I was in like the past 3 days considering picking it up and playing it, but I kind of decided to hold off mainly because, well, I don't know. I still might. How many more days do we have for? One, two. Yeah, so it's kind of tough because Ghost of Yote is coming in like 4 days, and I do want to play Silent Hill F, but to be honest, I just kind of got scared. I'm too scared to play it. No, that's not why. I'm just scared that I'm gonna end up dropping it when Yote comes out, and I just was kind of looking at it as maybe I'll just play Yote first and then get around the Silent Hill F. Kind of do it in reverse order. Yeah, I heard it's not a long game. It's like between 10 and 13 hours. Yeah, I know Mrs. MBG really wants to play it. She's been asking me when we're going to play it. I've been hearing some mixed things about the combat though. Is anybody here playing Silent Hill F right now? It's like 50-50 from what I hear. Some people are saying the combat is fine. And if if you're used to combat in Silent Hill, it's nothing really new. But some people have been saying that like the combat is really not enjoyable. And I won't lie, that kind of made me a little bit nervous. If anything, it reinforced my willingness to wait a little bit. But yeah, Silent Hill 2 Remake was my game of the year for 2024, so yeah, maybe I shouldn't wait for Silent Hill F. I don't know. I'm
At
still kind
MBG,
of
you should stream
50-50
Overcooked
on
2
it.
with your wife. I hear it makes couple fights so the stream can be entertaining.
New Soul 9, what if I told you that me and Mrs. MBG already platinumed Overcooked 2? Yeah, we're like that power couple. I don't know. What do you guys think? An Overcooked 2 stream? You know what, though? It's been a long time since we played it. I don't remember jack shit about Overcooked 2. I'm going to be honest. I don't remember. So it'd be like starting over. I'll think about it, New Soul. Mrs. MVG's been talking to me about wanting to bring back Morning with the Misses. Maybe this Friday? I don't know. Should we set a goal? We'll add the 51 that we have here to a bigger goal. Bring back Morning with the Misses. It's been a while since we've done it. The combat is terrible by modern standards, but it's serviceable. Yeah, it sounds like Silent Hill. In Silent Hill, the combat is not the point. I know that. I know. I have to admit, though, the combat in Silent Hill 2 Remake was really good. Like, it was way better than I expected it to be. It was more reminiscent of something like Resident Evil 2 Remake. They did a good job with it. Yeah, I heard the ending of Silent Hill F is kind of crazy. Sage Infinite says, now that my membership is about to expire, Morning with the Misses comes back. Uh-oh. Well, Sage, maybe I don't know, if you can't renew it, maybe you'll get lucky and you could get like a gift. I'm sure we'll have people dropping more member gifts throughout the week, hopefully. Perfect Image wants a member train. You feel that the combat is good. Silent Hill games aren't really known for good combat, though, so I don't know what people are complaining about. Yeah, I mean, that's been what's kind of interesting to see is I think that what people are telling me, or like what I've been reading, I should say, they're not like telling me directly, is that a lot, like so much of the game is combat. Like a surprising amount is combat. And I think maybe for some people, that's why they're not enjoying it as thoroughly. I'll have to get it. I don't know. This is one of those things where I'll just have to play it for myself and get an idea for myself to really figure out, like, are people being, a bit much about it. MBG, you like Mountain Dew? I have to stop drinking. I do like Mountain Dew, but I rarely ever drink it. Mountain Dew Code Red. I like that's I think my favorite Mountain Dew. I like soda. I do. I try not. I mean, I can go on these binges where I just start like drinking soda constantly, and I have to stop because I'm like, I'm clearly getting addicted to this, and it's just really not good for you. I'm gonna be trying to cut back on sugar, generally speaking. Luna just realized she didn't get her treats. How did Silent Hill end up in Japan, by the way? I don't know if they explain it in the game, like from a story perspective. I haven't played it yet, but it was like a big thing that they wanted to do. They wanted to bring it back. Well, not back, but because it's the first time it's taking place outside of Silent Hill. But they just had this desire to do a completely new setting, and you know, taking it to Japan, I guess, made a lot of sense. Apparently, they did a good job with it. No, boss, you had enough. Damn, nice jump, Luna. Did you guys see that jump from Luna? That was crazy. And we have Titus coming in, dropping another 5 membership gifts for you guys. Titus, thank you so much, my friend. Here we go. We'll give you a Herman Holst.
This is an incredibly exciting time for PlayStation.
Isn't it, Titus? Isn't it incredibly exciting? Thank you for the 5 member gifts. That brings us to 56. What should the morning with the Mrs. goal be? I don't know. I'm not sure. Titus is hype. That last state of play was great. I've been seeing people kind of talk about how it feels like Sony's maybe kind of getting back on the horse a little bit. Oh, did that echo? It probably echoed. Yeah, you got an echoing Herman Hulse. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, they have that Terminator game coming out. That does look pretty fun. I would like to play it. There are definitely games I want to play. I think what I'm just kind of doing right now is basically making a clear runway for Ghost of Yote. I think that's essentially what I'm in the process of doing. I'm trying to make a clear runway for Ghost of Yote and Battlefield 6, fully anticipating that these 2 games are going to take up pretty much the entirety of my time, I assume anyway, in October. But yeah, I would like to leave some more room for like Silent Hill. I can't, I hate buying games and then just like letting them sit there and not actually, especially knowing if I wait a little bit, sometimes you can get them on sale. I try to commit to my games. That's usually the way I do it. I thought for sure it was going to take me a lot longer to get the platinum for Metal Gear Solid 3 though, or Delta. All right, Luna, please don't start scratching the,
At MBG, did you play
Mouse.
Paul World with your wife or Paul Farm? If you like farming.
Well, we had Drive By Joe saying, have you checked out Arc Raiders? Looks good. I've seen gameplay of it, and I'll be honest, I forgot that was coming out. I saw it on the PlayStation Store in the pre-order section. Yeah, this is a game. These cats, man. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what it is with these cats. I like moved the cat tower a little bit, and I thought it was a good spot that I put it in. I'm starting to think it's cursed. I forgot about Arc Raiders, and what I remember most about Arc Raiders is people were playing the alpha or the beta around the same time that Marathon was being played. And people were like, yeah, Arc Raiders kind of clears Marathon. And people were basically talking about how Arc Raiders is the game that Marathon should have been. Luna, why? Why do my cats torture me, dude? I have boss over here biting my monitor and my DualSense. I got Luna trying to rip down my panels. Like, what are they doing to me? Why are they doing this to me? I'm just trying to talk to my audience, you know? We're just trying to talk gaming. But yeah, Arc Raiders, I don't know if I'm going to end up playing that or not. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of extraction shooters. I do like the concept of extraction shooters, though. But it seems like Arc Raiders, as well as whenever Marathon comes out, these seem like games that you really have to commit to. I mean, like, really commit to. But I might eventually. Astrobot, he's in the chat. And New Soul, you're saying, did you play Power World with your wife or Pal Farm? I did not play Power World. I was thinking about it when it came to PlayStation 5, but you know, I looked at the gameplay a little bit more closely. I watched some gameplay and I'm like, I'm good. I'm good on Power World. I've heard good things about it. But nah. It's not for me, New Soul. Excuse me. No, I did not see that, Alma. I haven't been keeping up with Nintendo. I know that Doug Bowser's like retiring. Does anybody know what's going on with that situation? This is how out of the loop I am with Nintendo. I just saw that Doug Bowser's retiring and he's no longer going to be the head of Nintendo, and they have somebody else replacing him. I don't know who it is. Oh wait, hold on. Alma, you're saying Hideaki Nishino said that. Where is this coming from, Alma? I didn't hear anything about this. He got fired. Well, I don't know. Like, he was there for like, I saw something pop up that said he was there for 44 years or something. Like, what? Is that true? I mean, I feel like if that's how long he's been with them, retiring actually makes complete sense. Like, there's an argument that could be made he should have retired a decade ago. Possibly, you know? Luna's just chilling. Luna's camo index is at like 95%. Did I read that wrong? Did you say Nishino and I read it as Nintendo? Hold on. Oh, I did read it. Alma, I'm sorry. I thought you typed Nintendo, but you did type Nishino the first time, and I read it for some reason as Nintendo. No, all I know is that Hideaki Nishino did a keynote speech at Tokyo Game Show, and if I recall, it was focused on, I think it was focused on the success of the PlayStation storefront and just the success of PlayStation in general. I did see, by the way, now it was all in Japanese, and I don't think Hideaki Nishino's speech was translated fully, but I saw somebody say on Reddit, and you know, I just have to take it for what it is. They said that Hideaki Nishino basically said, in so many words, that they're not going to be done with physical games and physical media because there are still, there's still many territories where PlayStation's very prevalent and popular that, you know, don't have good enough internet connection. According to this one person on Reddit that posted this, yeah, that's what I'm confused about, Irfan. Like, this person, the way that they said it, it's almost, I guess, like they can speak Japanese or understand Japanese and they watched it, or because I haven't seen it reported anywhere. And I'm like, to be honest, it makes me wonder, like, what else did Nishino say in this speech that we just don't know because there's nobody translating it. It exists. It's like he said the most important stuff. It's like he was talking about how every Xbox game or every PlayStation game is going to go to Xbox and just nobody knows because nobody was paying attention. But yeah, I think that's pretty important if that's actually what was said. That seems like a really, it's important to me, you know? Yeah, I saw that, Carl, the Astrobot statues at TGS. It's a shame. It just seems like TGS was a little bit underwhelming in terms of announcements this year. I think people were hoping for a few more. Okay, Luna, what is she doing, dude? Luna? Luna, what are you doing? Okay. She's just looking back at me like, I will fuck you up. I will fuck you up. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Yeah, I saw that, Caped Crusader. They took direct shots at Sony. Luna's even more chaotic than Boss. Yeah, she's scarier than Boss too, because she will mess me up. Boss, I will pick up and, boot him if I have to, but get him out of here. Luna, I don't want to. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. She is scary. No, Battlefield put out a new trailer today that was basically taking shots at Call of Duty. You know how Call of Duty, every year they do their live action trailers where they get some celebrities and it's like kind of cringe, I guess. They made fun of it by getting like 4 celebrities and like introducing them. Like it literally looked like a Call of Duty trailer and then just blowing them up and then having like, actual like militants, actual soldiers coming in and like it got dead serious. And I'm like, dude, that's so funny. It was a great trailer. All right. So yeah, I feel like I didn't really get to talk enough about, the idea of 2026 being an absolutely insane year for the PS5. I feel, I was originally going to title this stream, and maybe I still will make this. I'm going to have to get Luna out of here before we continue our conversation. Like, I don't know what she's doing. Call of Duty just announced they're canceling many planned crossovers for Black Ops 7. They're afraid. Oh, dude. They must be. If that's true, B Flesher, they must actually be scared because that's a crazy thing to announce. I'm telling you, man, pre-orders must not be looking good for Call of Duty this year. I think it'll still do fine, but every time I hear them talk, like Treyarch or Activision, it just gives me the impression that like things are not looking great. Come on. Sorry, Luna. Like I would like to have you chill up there, but you're being kind of crazy. A senior developer said that he would be lying if he wasn't afraid of annual release fatigue. Oh. This is interesting. Yeah. I mean, everything filters through PR, so they're not just saying these things off the cuff, I would assume. Huh. I don't know. I guess maybe like that kind of is a good way to kind of position themselves. Like, oh, we are nervous. We're not just resting on our laurels. Like, It makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I think Call of Duty's having their own event in 2 days on my birthday, actually. And that's where they're going to do the big multiplayer reveal. I think it's called like Call of Duty Next or something. I think that's what it's called. And I'm kind of curious, I have to admit, because everything I've seen of Black Ops 7 so far looks so underwhelming. I'm like, dude, I'm not a Call of Duty hater by any means, but I'm just like, I don't feel anything, man. Like I feel nothing. Like this is like I in the past I could say I felt annoyed or bothered, which implied I cared. You know what I mean? But now I just don't feel anything. And that's kind of weird. I don't think I've ever reached that point with Call of Duty. Maybe I did back when like I don't know, like Advanced Warfare or like Infinite Warfare came out, but it's void and null. Well, we'll see what they do. We'll see what they offer. I mean, I'll tell you what, if there's anything that's going to bring people back in terms of getting them excited for Call of Duty, it's going to have to be this event where they do the full multiplayer reveal. Tarnish, you're saying PlayStation is so back. I literally feel so ecstatic. I'm keeping news tabs on PlayStation. That fanboy passion in me is back, and we should brag about it. Let's bring fanboyism and passion back without trepidation. I took a hard left turn, Tarnished. No, I mean, I do kind of feel where you're coming from. I was originally going to title the stream, like, turns out PlayStation does have games. And I decided against that because it's a little bit inflammatory. But yeah, man, it's like, I'm glad to see that people are starting to wake up a little bit and realize, like, yeah, like Sony does have some games, guys. Like, they have some good stuff, that they've had good stuff. They continue to have good stuff. Like, I know that for some people, they still didn't like that state of play, and that's fine. You know, no event is going to please everybody, but generally speaking, I feel like people walked away from that state of play and they're like, damn, dude, this is kind of like Sony had the pop, right? Like that's what I was talking about. It's like I've been saying for a little while that Sony's missing that kind of like wow factor or that pop that they had so frequently during last generation, and it's been a while. And, you know, I kept talking to you guys about how Wolverine may or may not be there. Maybe we shouldn't get our hopes up. But I think between the Saros gameplay and the Wolverine gameplay trailer and developer talk they did, I think they had the pop and they had the wow factor with the state of play. And it makes me nervous for the next state of play because I'm like, dude, this one seems like it's going to be kind of hard to top. The hype for Wolverine is through the roof. The trailer's got like 6 or 7 million views or something. Yeah, GT was there. I keep forgetting about that, but you know, it was kind of you just have a Kazunori Yamaguchi. That's his last name, right? He comes out just like flexing, being like, yeah, you know, we sold 100 million units. It's like, geez, 6.9. Is that 6.9 million? Oh shit. Yeah, the hype is real. I've watched that trailer like numerous times, and I just, it's so interesting to me that Insomniac, it just makes me so happy that they understood what they needed to do. The message was loud and clear. That's so good and reassuring to see because it's clear that these studios, they do listen to the fans. Like these developers, they do listen. I'm not speaking for literally every studio and every game and every developer, but generally speaking, they do listen. And it's clear that Insomniac knew that they had to show, like, let's face it, the biggest emphasis placed on this trailer was the gore and the the aggression. Sorry, I was muted. I was saying these damn cats. I don't know what's going on with them. Yeah, my bad. Like, I don't know why these cats are torturing me today the way they are. But yeah, the fear I think was that Insomniac was going to have some kind of like not half-assed, but dulled version of Wolverine and some baby-fied version of Wolverine or some kid-friendly version. And, they really, the more I watch that trailer, I'm like, dude, I think literally 70% of this trailer is Wolverine tearing shit up and fucking people up. That's over 70% of this trailer. And I was like looking at it a little bit more closely, and I'm like, dude, some of these finishing moves they're showing are just insane. So yeah, man, I think that knowing Wolverine is slated for fall 2026, the PlayStation, not just the PlayStation lineup, but the PS5 in 2026, I'm thinking it might be one of the greatest years in PlayStation history. Like if everything comes together the way it's seemingly looking like it's going to come together. I mean, of course, things could get delayed and things could change, and there's still many games we don't know about. And there's still clearly many developers that are aiming for 2026, but are very nervous about that GTA 6 release date. But I don't know, man. 2026 is looking like a scary year, like a scary good year in terms of what's going to be on offer. PlayStation 5 will be the only gaming platform that will play Wolverine, Soros, RE9, Requiem, and GTA 6 in 2026. Oh my God. That's actually, I kind of forget about that. You're right. That GTA 6, while it's not an exclusive to PlayStation, it's not coming to PC.
I hear GTA is going to be delayed to fall 2026.
There have been some rumblings of that, new Soul 9, and I don't think anybody would be shocked if that happened. In fact, I would say a lot of people are actually kind of preparing themselves for that to happen.
Now we have 3 more months left for new announcements or not, but question to you, what studios didn't announce anything, and is it coming 2026?
But yeah, new Soul, I would say just be prepared. There hasn't been any as far as I'm aware, there haven't been any insiders or anything saying that it's, there's talk of a delay, or there's nothing that indicates that it's going to be delayed other than just the fact that it is Rockstar, it is GTA, and these games are known to get multiple delays before they come out. So I think because of that, it's kind of just always be prepared, I'm kind of locked in with May. But yeah, I if we find out a month before in April that it's getting delayed to September, I'd be like, okay, yeah, it sucks, but kind of expected it, not shocking at all. And Perfect Image is saying now that we have 3 more months left for new announcements, or not, the question is what studios didn't announce anything that may be coming in 2026. Well, I can tell you this, Perfect Image. There are many, many studios and publishers that have not revealed their games yet that are coming in 2026, and they're going to be announced at the Game Awards. I did talk about this earlier, but the Game Awards is, it gets practically as much viewership as the Super Bowl, or maybe even more. It's some crazy metric. It's bigger than any other event in gaming. And it's kind of a tradition, but the tradition is growing. It's happening more and more where developers will give their games to Jeff Keighley and they'll reveal them for the first time during the show, and they'll say, summer 2026, fall 2026. I think, it's one of these things where more developers than ever are probably waiting for December to do that, because, it's like we just talked about, GTA 6 could get delayed at any moment. But, if we give our date for our game or our release window, we would rather do so after another GTA 6 delay. Yeah, the 2.5D God of War game reveal, I'm not sure what's going on with this. I'm not sure. It it's real, apparently. It is a thing. It's real, and it's supposed to be coming next year. So I could maybe the next state of play is where it'll show up. I thought that the God of War controller reveal was going to be that, or like after they revealed that controller, they were going to reveal this game. Even the PC grift channel audiences, they're like, yeah, whatever you say, I may buy the PS5 Pro. Well, I mean, yeah, dude, GTA 6 not being on PC at launch is going to be very big for PlayStation. I think it'll help Xbox, but with the recent price increases of Xbox, I don't know. I don't know how much it's going to help it. Irvin, you're saying it's bigger than the Super Bowl? Hey, BG, wanted to get your take as a Metal Gear fan. I'm assuming your favorite is MGS3. What is your take on the Phantom Pain? Busy playing it now. Easily the best stealth game ever made. My take on the Phantom Pain is the gameplay is S++ tier. It is like the best stealth game ever made. It's incredible. My big criticism of the Phantom Pain is how different it is story-wise. You know, a lot of the story is relegated to cassette tapes that you listen to and recordings, and that's all stuff that would have been in codec calls or cutscenes. So, and also Snake is very quiet, like too quiet. So there's like a story reason for that, but yeah, the Phantom Pain was amazing. I was just a little bit let down by the story, just a little bit. God of War fans were mentally destroyed after that DualSense reveal. Dude, the hate for the God of War DualSense is insane. Like, it's getting demolished from all angles, bro. It's getting demolished from people who are like, that's a shitty design. Garbage design. Waste of money, waste of time. It's getting hate from God of War fans because they're like, how could you DualSense? You know, like how could you not have something related to, like, how could you not have some kind of game? Even if it's like a, you know, collection for the original 3. And I'll be honest, like, I guess I didn't really think much of it when I was watching it live because I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, how could you red stripe? It's like, yeah, okay, it's another DualSense. But yeah, I don't know. It is, the more I thought about it, I'm like, this is kind of bizarre, right? Like, why didn't they announce this earlier in the year during the actual 20th anniversary? I don't know. I can understand why it was such a painful thing for God of War fans, but I guess it was just so easy for me to overlook and just not really think too much about, because I just figured, well, you know, Wolverine, like that's where my mind was. So I was just like, okay, cool, DualSense. So is Wolverine next? And it was. So yeah, but I saw that one video. Who's the YouTuber? He's like a God of War YouTuber. Captain Cuba, I think his name is. Yeah. Irfan, I saw that video. And it's hard not to laugh. And that's why I probably uploaded it. But I was like, damn, dude, I could see the pain. And what was so funny about that video, though, is like, he was, because I've been there before, where the Wolverine trailer started playing, but he's so distraught about what he just saw. But he's like, Wolverine looks cool, but he's like mentally broken because of the controller. And I'm like, I get it. I've been there. I know what it's like. But yeah, that was crazy to see it getting absolutely steamrolled online. I don't think the controller looks bad, but I can understand why people are like super underwhelmed by it, where they're like, bro, that's it? Like just a red line? That's it? I can appreciate the subtlety of it. You know, I think good designs can be very subtle. But, you know, I can also see why people are like, bro, I'm not paying $85 for that. Are you out of your mind? Like, I could just buy a regular DualSense and paint a red stripe on it, and there you go. Save myself $85. So I get it. Oh, you think God of War could show up at the Game Awards? Actually, yeah, we got the that's not without precedent, Mr. B. We got the God of War Ragnarok Valhalla DLC revealed at the Game Awards. I think it was in 2022. Or 3. It was one of those years. But that was quite shocking. So Santa Monica showing up at the Game Awards is not unprecedented. You hope it sells horribly so they make actual good controller designs in the future. At the very least. At least they have something for God of War fans. Dude, my favorite part of the state of play for me, in terms of like my own reaction, was when The Last of Us Part 2 showed up. When I tell you guys, I was on the brink. It's a good thing they made it very clear very quickly that it's going into PlayStation Plus's catalog, because I was about to break, bro. I was like, there ain't no way. Sony. But yeah, I forgot also like The Last of Us Day. I forgot about that. To be honest, I kind of forgot in general that they still do that. Everything will show up at the Game Awards. It has red triggers and buttons too. You like the design? Oh, I didn't know the triggers were red. I saw the buttons. Yeah, the buttons were red. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't think it looks that bad. But I am a bit fatigued with the limited edition DualSenses. Like, I just can't keep up anymore. I don't have I saw it and I was like, oh, that's cool. God of War DualSense, you know. I thought about picking it up, but I'm like, I don't know. There's just too many. There's too many at this. I have too many DualSenses as is. Another one I remember that people were pretty upset with was the Last of Us one. There was a Last of Us DualSense. People kind of didn't like that one. That one was like the opposite of the God of War, where rather than being subtle, it was like really noisy and had all this stuff all over it. People were like, bro. The LeBron James one was the worst one, though. No matter what. Nothing will top how bad that one was. Like, we just pretend that one never happened. That was so bad. That was like laughably bad. It's like, do you want to pay a premium for a ruined DualSense? It was straight up disgusting. Yeah. Disgusting, bro. A noticeable chunk of the show focused on subscription. I don't mind because I like the retro ads. Yeah, they had a couple of PlayStation Plus Premium Classics. Yeah, well, if they do the Wolverine DualSense, I'll get that. Yeah, I'm probably going to do everything for Wolverine, everything that they offer. I'm very excited for it. Like, I mean, I know that's obvious, but I mean, it might be my most anticipated game. It's tied with GTA 6. Yeah. But I also want to talk about Saros. Like, I can't deny that my excitement for Wolverine is maybe like it's making it seem like I don't even care about Saros. Saros looked incredible as well. I almost kind of wish, I know this is like a crazy thing to say because these were the only 2 games we saw, but I kind of wish Saros showed up like a week later or something, or Wolverine showed up a week later, because like, dude, when I went back and watched that Saros gameplay, I'm like, yeah, dude, Returnal, I went on record numerous times saying that Returnal is one of the best games that came out this generation. And for a lot of people, it is the best game that Sony dropped this generation. And I feel like Saros, it's clearly it's pretty much a sequel. It's a continuation of it. But I get the sense, so people were referring me to, I think it was, what's his name? I don't remember his name, but he's from VGC. And he was saying that there's a lot of stuff about Saros that he's hearing that, the way he put it was like it's making him run around yelling, which is kind of crazy. Like it makes me wonder, like, what exactly are you hearing? Jordan Midler, thank you, Irfan. Yeah, and he's like really hyping it up, basically saying like, basically hinting that there are things about Saros that we do not know yet that are going to be very, very like, oh shit. So yeah, because I do think like when you look at the gameplay reveal, and this isn't a bad thing, but it's just a thing. People are like, it looks just like
The
Returnal.
best highlight of the show was The Last of Us 2 remake, remastered, redo, revision, rework, revamp.
Redo, revision, rework, revamp, bro. Bro, how many R's is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six tuple? How do you say it? The Last of Us Part 2 times 6. R6. There we go. Redo, revision, rework, revamp. You know, I laugh, but New Soul, I think we both know. Excuse me. Low Key says, thank you to whomever gifted me. Very much appreciated. Low Key, I think that's probably thanks to either Silent Spartan or Titus. They dropped memberships today. Silent Spartan dropped a lot, so you may have gotten it from him. I was going to say, New Soul, I think we both know that it's all fun and games until you're watching the PlayStation 6 reveal event. And Naughty Dog is showing you the Last of Us Part 2 remake, remastered, redo, revision, rework, revamp, PlayStation 6 enhanced version. I'm already stressed. Like, I'm already stressed about it now because you know it's happening. You know it's happening, dude. Hanzo's like, I'll play it. Day one. Carl says day one. Stop it. Don't give them ideas. Rasterized. Rasterized edition. But yeah, man, 2026 is looking 2026 is truly looking wild for PlayStation, man. Like I know I've like hyped up every year since the PS5 came out, but I mean this, and I think you guys understand where I'm coming from. Like, dude, 2026 is looking like a special year. 2025 has been great. 2024 was awesome. I mean, every year's been great. But 2026 is looking like a year that if everything goes according to plan, yeah, 007's coming out. If everything goes according to plan, 2027 could, or 6, I'm reading 007 so much that I said 2027. 2026 could be a year that people look back on and as like, this is a year that could battle previous years for greatest year in video games. You know, greatest year ever in the history of video games. Do not spam 007. Why would you spam that? How could you spam? Well, you tried. You tried. Hold on, I'm trying to find a 2026 in video games. I'm looking over a list of all the games that are confirmed for 2026 so far. Dude, a game that I haven't mentioned, but I probably should mention more often because it is a PS5 exclusive or console exclusive is Neo 3. Keep forgetting about that game. I don't know if I'm going to play that or not. That got a nice big trailer at the State of Play, and it got Phantom Blade Zero as well. Where's that? We have. I guess that'll be at the Game Awards. But yeah, Neo 3 is a big one that people are very excited about. That's coming out. Although Sony's not publishing it, but it is. It just seems like it's skipping Xbox. It's releasing on PC and PS5. But Neo has a pretty significant history with PlayStation, I would say. That's a big one. Dude, I can't believe that. I'm looking over the list now. I can't believe that Resident Evil is coming in February. Like, I hope it doesn't get delayed. I get this feeling that Resident Evil is probably going to get delayed. Well, actually, I don't think it can, because if they delay it by like a couple months, it's in too close proximity to GTA 6 at that point. No, we're going to talk deeper a little bit more about that. I mean, we've been kind of going back and forth with it, Cast Theory, but we'll continue to talk about it. It'll still pop up. March is looking. You got Crimson Desert, Saros, 007. Dude, there's nothing. That's crazy. There's like nothing between April and December of 2026. You have Castle of Shikigami 3 for April. That's the only game in April. Grand Theft Auto 6 in May. And then Halloween in September of next year. This is why I'm saying, like, dude, there's still so much. Everything basically stops by May. Pretty much everything stops after March. There's like no games for April, no games for May, nothing beyond that. So you can definitely tell when looking over this list. Who did Insomniac call clowns? So for those who don't know, Insomniac posted 2 days ago. They posted the finger pointing emoji and the clown emoji. And a lot of people interpreted this as Insomniac, like, you know, kind of calling out, you know, certain people or influencers or creators. It could have been nothing, but it was definitely read as something. To the Mystique haters calling her woke. Yeah, it was definitely towards that. To the hackers, maybe, you know, to the people who were dumping on Wolverine because of the hacks. The thing I was most nervous about with Wolverine, outside of, like, you know, them not making him vicious enough and it being like gory enough and violent enough, the biggest thing that I was concerned about was their involvement with Sweet Baby Inc. and how, like, it was clear that was falling apart. Sweet Baby Inc. was falling apart, and you know, there was shit being revealed with that company where it's like, okay, it seems like any studio that's involved with this company is going to be in trouble. And I'm assuming they severed ties with them, but you know, it seems like they just let the game speak for itself. And in letting the game speak for itself, it really shut down and shut up a lot of people. It made a lot of people look dumb. And the people who really look dumb are the ones who immediately, the ones who maybe got egregious with the leaks and were like, this game's garbage. Or even without the leaks, we're just like, it doesn't stand a chance. Insomniac sucks now. You know? And I think that this is just Insomniac's way of kind of, I mean, to me, it seems like they're clapping back a little bit. You know? They're, I think people are just a little bit, I think you can tell. Like, my read on Insomniac right now is that they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. And they're, you know, and I get it. Interesting, Laman. Yeah. I was getting that vibe too. It'll be interesting to see if it's that linear. I wouldn't be opposed to that. The admin replied to everyone. Yeah. It's interesting to see. Hiroki canceled 4 of Insomniac's IPs. I'm not so sure about that. That's a lot. No, I don't think Wolverine's going to be an open world sandbox. Will I do a stream discussing what's all in the pipeline for Sony Interactive Entertainment cancellations of the multiplayer? I probably will in January, to be honest. I know that's, or maybe December. It depends. But after the Game Awards, certainly. So it could be the end of December or early January. We'll do like a kind of, yeah, our annual like covering of all the studios and what to expect. Oh no, dude, we need more linear games. Yeah, I agree. Linear doesn't mean bad. We need more. We don't need more open. Well, we're gonna get more open world games. I'm saying it's good to see linear as well. Getting arrogant on social media before your game is out, always works out well. Yeah, well, I think there's like this idea that they're supposed to maintain their professionalism at all times. You know, like they can't ever make it known that they see any of this stuff or that it bothers them. And I get that, but I don't know, man. It's like even like, look, I don't work at Insomniac, and I wasn't involved with the making of this game at all. But even I was getting annoyed where I'm seeing like the dumbest shit that people are trying. Like this, it's the same people, dude. It's just like this is a problem that exists everywhere. It's not exclusive to Insomniac. It's not exclusive to Wolverine. It's something that happens to me. It happens to a lot of people where it's like, dude, they could do everything right. They could do everything right and shut all the haters up. Everything they said, wrong, 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 wrong. And you're still going to get the same people, you know, that are like, but what about this? This is why you guys still suck. And it's just like, shut up. It's like, fucking go away. You know, like you had your time. Okay. You had the last 4 years to talk your shit, to make your assumptions. And, you know, that's fine. Because they're busy making the game. But they just showed it. It's over. You know, like it's over. They fucking cooked. And there's nothing, you can't do anything about it. They cooked. They have a what looks to be an amazing fucking game. So it's like, if you want to keep hating, go ahead. But, you know, it's like, we see it for what it really is now. We see you for what you really are now. And yeah, Insomniac, I don't think they're being overly arrogant. And I don't think they overstep their boundaries. I think that they're just putting out there what we're all thinking. I do. I think they're just putting out there what we're all thinking, which is like, come on, guys. Like, it's time to move on to something else. It's time to grift on to something else now. You know, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what everybody expects you to do. That's what we know you're going to do. But yeah, man, it's pathetic. It is pathetic. See, that's funny. People are pointing out that apparently Insomniac hired a character artist that worked at Firewalk on Concord, and they're like there's this reply underneath where it's somebody like, how do you keep making bad choices? How are you gonna hire the character artist that worked on like, I'm sorry, what again? What does that have to do with the game that they showed you? Are you telling me that something about the characters looked bad? Because everything I saw in that Wolverine trailer looked pretty good. In fact, I didn't see anything that looked bad at all. Like, this isn't Concord. This is Wolverine. It is a completely different game. And I get it. Like, I can understand to a certain degree where it's like, well, I heard the Concord artist is working on this game. It's like, okay, but why don't we just fucking watch the trailer and judge for ourselves? It's like they want me and everybody else to be like, well, the trailer kind of looked good and I think that they did a lot of things right, but I heard that the Concord artist was hired on this game, so I don't think I can be excited for it anymore. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing here, people? What are we doing? And don't get me wrong, Concord had a lot of problems with its art style and its art design. There's no denying that. But it's just, this is where it's like two separate games, two separate teams, they're not comparable. They're just not comparable. And I'm just trying to say that's a dumb reason to be upset with this game. Frankly, that is a dumb reason to have a problem with this game. Because unless you can show me a character design from that Wolverine trailer that looks even remotely as bad as anything we saw in Concord, then I just, you know what I mean? It's just like, you're like, we see what you're doing. Like, you make it too obvious. You don't even hide it. You think Mystique looks horrendous? I think she looks fine. We barely even saw her. Anyway, let me see. I'm sure there's some Mystique pictures. Oh, here we go. I think she looks fine. I don't see a problem with her. It's Mystique. Like, she's blue. Dude, yeah, the replies under this tweet are so funny, though. This person says, this is why I don't feel bad when devs get fired. Dude, the haters, it's crazy to see. I'm like looking through this. It's crazy to see how many haters are still. They're still trying, man. This person says game has the sweet baby stink on it. Hard pass. Like, okay, bro. Like, it can't be real. Like, it just can't be real. Like, bro. Okay. I was worried about the sweet baby stuff too, but it's like, how do you watch that Wolverine trailer and walk away being like, that's some sweet baby garbage right there? Like, what? Like, dude, listen, okay. It's like, if the full game was out and there's like some crazy nonsense in there that they just didn't show you yet, fine. But how? How do you see that trailer and that's the conclusion you come to? How? This is why we can't have good things, guys. Like, this is why we're at a point where we just can't have good things. Where it's like, we just saw the good thing. They just showed us the good like, guys, this is the moment where it's like, look, there's been maybe a myriad of moments throughout this generation where you can be upset, you could be angry, you could be concerned, you could be all these things. This is at least one moment where it's like, we can be excited. Have you seen how Jean Grey looks? The only time I've seen Jean Grey was a couple of years ago when the hack came out. But apparently, and I'm fairly certain this was true because I won't lie, she didn't look great. She looked older than she should be. And what I remember hearing is that apparently it was a placeholder face model that they were using. And that's actually not what she's going to look like in the final game. That's what I heard. So, Mystique's face is too manly. Fuck it, just give her a beard. Why not? Just do it. Insomniac, we know that's what you want to do. Just give her a mustache. Oh, man. That's crazy. Activision mistakenly put ads in the gunsmith menu in Call of Duty. Mistakenly. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just can't get on board with it. I just can't get on board with it. Like, I have no problem at all with the way Mystique looks. I think she looks fine. She did. I will say they. It seems to me they gave her a bit of a more mature look, from what I can tell from the few images I saw. She only showed up in the trailer for a couple seconds. She's just a little bit more mature, which is like, older. But I don't have any problems with the way she looks. And I'll just be honest, man. Like, I feel like I'll just put it this way: if after seeing that Wolverine trailer, if that's your hang up, you should probably skip this game. You know, like that. And it's hard for me not to be like, I'm not trying to be overly passive aggressive, but I'm not trying to be confrontational necessarily either. Where it's like, it's just like, listen, if you see that trailer and your takeaway from it is, but why does Mystique look like that? You should not buy this game, and you should find something else to play. That's the thing about these people, though, is they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They're going to sit here for the next year, every chance they get, telling you why you too should be annoyed with this game and have a problem. And that's, to me, that's the part that's what bothers me. And I think that right there is at the heart of what Insomniac is kind of clapping back at a little bit, where it's like, you got, they're gonna latch on to anything they can, no matter how nonsensical it is. And I'm not trying to call like even more attention to it necessarily, but I don't know, man. I think Insomniac, based off of what I saw from that trailer, man. I mean, we have to see more, of course, but I think, dude, I think it's going to be better than Spider-Man 2018. I do. I think this is going to be Insomniac's best game. I really do feel that way. But we got to see more.
The dude's whining probably never kissed a girl before.
Caped Crusader, are you accusing some of them of being, dare we say, incels? Well, if thou hath cooked, said cooking cannot be undone. We got to watch the breakdown. We do. Yeah, we should check out the breakdown soon, Irfan. That'll probably be the closer for the stream today. I mean, look, man. The reason why I can understand if I'm not trying to pick one side or the other. I'm not trying to make it that. We're just trying to talk Wolverine, All I can say, and I have to say this because, I've talked about it in the past, and I'm not going to pretend I didn't make a big deal about it. It is understandable to me why people would be concerned that, Insomniac worked with Sweet Baby Inc. on Wolverine. I can understand that. The reason why I think some of those concerns are valid and understandable is because, there has been some things exposed about Sweet Baby Inc. that makes it very clear that this is not great. And this is not, I think,
At MBG for Wolverine games. DLC, I really want World War II Wolverine.
Bro, that would be sick. Yo, that's a great idea, actually. Yeah, if they do DLC, it'll be like a prequel DLC. Yo. Oh, man. I didn't even think about all the outfits that they're going to have, too, dude. It's going to be incredible. But I just wanted to say that like I'm not trying to make it seem like I never had anything to say on this topic or like pretend I never talked about the Sweet Baby Inc. situation. I did, and for good reason. But yeah, it's exactly what you're saying, Garrett. They're not making the game. Insomniac's going to make the game that they want to make. And to be honest, it seems like the reputation of Sweet Baby Inc. kind of got demolished. And I think no studio really wants anything to do with them anymore. Um, but the most important thing at the end of the day, and this will always be the most important thing, is you have to let the game speak for itself. And that's all I'm advocating for. I'm not trying to fight with people. I'm not trying to tell you that like you better love Wolverine. And you know, it's hard not to get a little bit annoyed with certain people, but at the end of the day, it's like we have to let the game speak for itself. And that game just said a lot of things very loudly that I frankly don't know that I could take anybody seriously. Where they're like, well, you know, like what do you mean, like, huh? Hmm? Did you not see Wolverine put his claws through that dude's fucking head? Like that shit was sick. Did you see the Sentinel at the end, bro? Like, what, the motorcycle chase? Are you kidding me? You actually thought that was boss? That's amazing. But yeah, it looks incredible, man. And I think Insomniac is going to deliver the best game they have ever made. I really believe that. You know, I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself because again, we do need to see more. But yeah, we need a button for the claws. Let's see. The set pieces are gonna go crazy. Yeah, dude. When they were showing a couple of the chase sequences, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be crazy. I'm stoked. I really am. You hope they don't make DLC and just move on to the X-Men game. Maybe they won't do DLC. I don't know. I mean, I feel like they will because they did for Spider-Man 1, so maybe they'll do it for the first Wolverine game, but what we saw with Spider-Man 2 is they just like were like, no way. Like, we're just abandoning all DLC. They didn't do anything for Spider-Man 2. They did New Game Plus and that's it. They really just kind of, honestly, it was kind of strange to see. Maybe it is because of bandwidth. Like they just need all hands on deck to finish Wolverine, and they're working on Venom, and who knows, maybe another Ratchet and Clank. So they're just too, you know, tied up in too many different games where they just didn't have the time, or maybe the budget to do a bunch of content for Spider-Man 2. They should do a Gambit spinoff game. You think DLC is a scam? I think it depends on what they're offering. You know, it depends on the content to price ratio. Gambit is teased in the trailer. Well, I feel for Insomniac a little bit. I can understand their frustration to a degree where they suffered one of the worst video game hacks of all time. And the hack was so bad that people were illegally downloading aspects of the game to play. You know, like complete. I mean, you're talking about literal developer builds of the game that they were downloading and playing and sharing, and yeah, there was a lot of criticism, man. There was a lot of criticism, and I could definitely understand why, if you're Insomniac, you're feeling a little bit like again, like you have a bit of a chip on your shoulder. How could you not? But you're saying that's a wild take. There's been plenty of amazing DLC. Yeah, I mean to to put all DLC under the umbrella of scam is kind of crazy. Here's my latest information from software working on Sekiro 2, set for 2027. And Duskblood was pitched to Sony before Nintendo. Sony declined. Dude, Laman, that can't be true. That can't be true. You know what though? Laman? Like, I could see Sony being scared shitless to announce Duskbloods. because, dude, everybody will be like, "That's Bloodborne," and then they're like, "It's not. It's a multiplayer game from FromSoft that looks kind of like Bloodborne, but isn't." I could see. I mean, dude, Sony would get fucking demolished. Sony would get steamrolled beyond belief if they did that. So I could actually kind of understand why Sony's like, we'll maybe wait for a Bloodborne 2, because God, people would be so upset. Sekiro 2 for 2027 though. That's fascinating. Yeah, well, I mean, Jeff Grubb did say, according to his sources, there's no movement on Bloodborne. Nothing's happening with Bloodborne. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I would find it so difficult to believe that Sony's not going to do anything with Bloodborne, man. I would find that so hard to believe, where it's like, what do you mean you're not doing anything with it? At this point, I'm willing to believe that there is something like with a contract, or there's just more to it. There's more than meets the eye. There's something there that if we learned about it, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know, like that's why they're not doing anything. But right now, it does seem like, optically speaking, that Sony is just choosing not to do anything with Bloodborne. And yeah, that is kind of crazy. No anime, no TV series, no movie, no remake, no remaster, no sequel, no update, no PC version. I mean, just nothing. Just absolutely nothing. They'll do merch, though. Ironically enough, that's the only thing. Before development of Duskblood was pitched to Sony, if the year is correct, it was Jim Ryan who turned it down. Is Duskblood's being positioned as a live service game? Or is it more like a contained multiplayer experience? Because if it's more of a contained multiplayer experience, I could kind of understand, to a degree, why Sony would be like, oh, well, if you're not looking to make it a live service, we're not interested. During Jim Ryan's time. You think it looks terrible, like a worse Night Rain? Dude, I don't believe that. Laman, there's no way that's true, bro. That's too. What do you want to? Laman's on the phone with Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan hated From Software because Miyazaki refused to add a difficulty button or option. Maybe Jim did hate Miyazaki for that. Maybe he did. Do I think the Silver Samurai shows up? I could see it. From Software hasn't done a live service yet. Jim Ryan's like, Miyazaki-san, I despise you. I despise you for not giving me my difficulty options. Elden Ring Night Rain is a live service, kind of. It does seem like it's in the middle, where it's like it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. Yeah, Demon Souls was remade. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, please take a moment and hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. We're sitting at 148 likes. We could very easily hit 150. But if you're enjoying the stream and you want to help out, it's the easiest way to do so.
At MBG, would you take Liza P2 or Bloodborne 2?
It's a good question, New Soul. I mean, for me, I would immediately say Bloodborne 2. Liza P2 would be great as well. Liza P2, like if it was up to me, I would choose Bloodborne 2, but I think Liza P2 is much more likely. But yeah, I feel like with that one, New Soul, you got to go with Bloodborne. Could you imagine though? Nah, I'll choose Liza P2. We don't need a Bloodborne 2. We don't need a Bloodborne 2. Nah, we're good. We're fine. We're fine over here. But yeah, appreciate everybody who's tuned in today. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hanzo says unsub, bro. It's all good, man. It's all good. But yeah, if you want to help support the channel, guys, we're sitting at 56 members. So thank you for the support today. Consider becoming a member. You drop a super chat, direct donation. These are all things that, you know, I have to continue to say just so people know. But yeah, appreciate it. Sony considered Bloodborne a flop. This was info from last year. I don't know. Maybe initially. Maybe up front. I don't know. Sony's not dumb now. Like surely they understand. Like the thing about Sony at this point is they're all about franchises. They're all about, yeah, and I think it's sold really good over time. I don't know what the initial sales were for Bloodborne. Like I don't know how strong they were out of the gate. I know it was a bigger PS4 title though in the beginning. Oh, thank you for that, Mr. B. Yeah. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad to be able to you know, do these streams and continue to run the channel. Looking forward to Ghost of Yote next. I was thinking about doing some Ghost of Yote gameplay, perhaps. I just know people are gonna bust my balls about it though, and that's kind of what's turning me off from it. Oh, you were skipping the game, bro. Like that's, you guys know. You already know. People bust my balls over nothing. Pretty good for an exclusive. Pretty good. That's interesting. I could see Sony, yeah, being the ones trying to convince Miyazaki to add difficulty options for Bloodborne. It needs to be more accessible. But yeah, I don't know, man. Sony's all about franchise potential. That's why the Bloodborne situation doesn't make much sense to me. Sony is always looking for intellectual properties that can get many sequels, do transmedia through movies, TV shows, anime, anything. Sony's always looking for that. And Bloodborne's just sitting there. It's like, that's Bloodborne. That's Bloodborne. And again, we live in a post-Elden Ring world now. So you see what happened with that and how it skyrocketed to mainstream success. I'm not sure. I would love to, I'm sure many people would love to get further insight from Herman Hulst or whoever, Miyazaki, somebody that knows. Like, what is the reason? What is the reason? Saying Rise of Ronin was a major success for Sony. A sequel was approved earlier this year. Still in pre-production. No date yet since it's possible to figure it out. But yes, a sequel will come. All right, well, yeah, we'll see if that turns out to be true, Laman. Rise of the Ronin was a solid game. It was fun. It was a little bit rough visually, but it was really fun. Yeah, it was better than I expected it to be. So I could see it. Apparently it did do well too. Yeah, I remember Koei Tecmo saying how it did well for them. I wonder what a sequel would be like. I wonder if it'll improve visually a lot. Because I'm telling you, I think that was like the only weak point. What was surprisingly good about Rise of the Ronin was the depth of the combat. I was very surprised by. I'm like, dude, there's so much here combat wise. It was a good game. I wish it just came out at a different time though, because when it came out, it it was like in between like Helldivers and Stellar Blade, and I feel like it kind of got lost a little bit in there, lost in the shuffle. It was more RPG than you expected. It was, yeah. It was a good game. MBG, last thing, Angie Smets might replace Herman Holst. Nishino is not happy with Holst. Oh, damn. Yo, yeah, that'll be interesting. Angie Smets has worked her way up quite a bit. She, I think, is like the head producer now of PlayStation. Nishino is not happy with Holst. Holst is on thin ice. Herman's on thin ice, bro. Well, I'm sure that, people are feeling a little bit better, right? After the state of play. They're feeling a little bit better. Holst just wants to be yachting, dude. Well, I don't think Sony would fire Herman Holst necessarily. I don't know. I feel like they would try to keep Herman there. I just don't know where they're like, if they would maybe just be like, maybe you're just not the best fit for the head of PlayStation Studios. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Herman's been the head of PlayStation Studios for a while now, though, man. I'll tell you this. If Herman's going to get replaced, it's most likely going to happen in the next year or so, like the next year and a half, roughly. They would probably replace him around the time. See, I don't know. It's too late, though. That's the thing. Well, it's not too late, but I just mean, like, I'll put it to you this way. Like, let's say, and I don't, I'm not, I don't know that I feel that Herman needs to be replaced. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, there's not like any credible rumor necessarily about that. I just think there's a lot of assumptions that, like, bro, how's Herman still have a job? Like, how is he still the head of PlayStation after some of the stuff that's happened? But the thing is, if you're Sony, all the games that are greenlit now are greenlit. Like, they're already in development for the PlayStation 6. Like, all the next gen games we're going to be getting for the first 2 years of the PlayStation 6 are already in they're already there being worked on. If you replace Herman now, that's not going to change anything. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to change. You either like have to commit to the games or cancel them. And so the most likely time frame for Herman to either step down or get replaced is probably within the first. I said within a year. I meant to say within the first year of the PlayStation 6 because the next wave of greenlighting will probably happen around that time, if you think about it. So, yeah, I don't know. This is what's going to make the conversation at the end of the year or, at the beginning of next year when we go over every PlayStation studio. It's going to make it interesting because every studio is kind of accounted for at this point. Like we know what we pretty much know. The only studio I would say we kind of don't know what's being worked on at all is Blue Point. That might be the only studio that's truly like a giant question mark where it's like I don't know about them. But every other studio we pretty much know. Herman is blamed for many of the cancellations and delays, especially at Blue Point and Bend Studio. At least 55% of the studios canceled its projects in the last 2 years. That's in quotes, too. Well, makes sense. Yeah. The most important person at PlayStation is someone that most people haven't even heard his name, Scott Rhodey. I've heard of Scott Rhodey. Not too familiar with him, but yeah, I recognize the name. Laman, I sincerely hope that this is just nonsense. I want to believe this is just nonsense. It can't be. Yoshida canceled many games during his tenure too. Yeah, I mean it's tough, man. Nobody's gonna be perfect. Lord Hideaki Nishino got them PC grifters tweaking. Banger state of play plus PS5, the most profitable and successful PlayStation generation ever, plus a gradual shift towards prioritizing exclusivity. What? What? Exclusivity? What's that? Yeah, that's true, Irfan. Yeah, dude, the God of War 2018 thing is the craziest one. That's like Demon Souls I could kind of understand, but God of War 2018 is wild. Talk about being glad to be wrong. I'm just trying to imagine like Shuei Yoshida walking out of a demo from God of War 2018 being like, they fucking ruined God of War. What did they do? Like insanity. Nobody's perfect, you know? Everybody has their preferences, and it's hard. It's hard. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know why people. I mean, I do know why, I guess, but it's so crazy to think that like people really think. That's not that they think, they believe like wholeheartedly that Sony is done with exclusivity. And I've speculated on this and I said they could be, but I've always had this kind of like I mean how is it truly going to is it worth it? You know what I mean? Like truly, is it truly worth it where it's like if I'm right, you owe me a trip to the United States. We will see, Laman. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Time will tell. But I don't know, man. I feel like when you walk away from this state of play, if you walk away from this state of play, I mean, what did Sony communicate? I I mean, there were no PC ports. There were no Xbox announcements. I mean, hell, we got an Xbox game announced for PS5. And the two first party titles that they had were just for PS5. Oh yeah, Tarnished, I saw that. Bro. I'm so glad you brought that up. I forgot. Earlier I was scrolling and I saw that I think Mike Ybarra said something like I think he was highlighting the fact that Sony said the PS5 is their most successful console generation, and Mike Ybarra was like, "See, like console, you know, supporting the consoles and doing it the more traditional way can work. It's possible." And somebody, I guess it was like an Xbox fan or something that basically like was talking shit to him, and he literally just responded saying, "Your console's dead" or some shit. It's just like, oh my god, bro, like, like he didn't even hesitate. He's just like, your console's dead. And you know what? You know what's listen. What's wild about Mike Ybarra being the one saying that is he was a major executive at Xbox. He like played a vital role in Xbox, and I mean, he gets clowned on, but I can appreciate the passion. You know, he clearly did care about the like he legitimately cared about the Xbox console. And you know, I just see the weirdest shit, dude. Like I see there were like pictures or something I saw floating around. People were busting balls, which I get it, of like certain influencers or Twitter users or whatever, like posing in pictures with like Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer and shit, and rallying behind like the Xbox Ally X and shit. And like, dude, I mean, it is kind of like obvious to everybody, right? That like what's going on with the whole Xbox side of things, where it's not like I had people getting upset with me because I'm talking about Kojima saying that Fizzant will be more advanced than OD because it's coming later. And they're like getting angry at me that I'm console warring. And it's like, dude, you need to go follow these Xbox players and take it their way, dude. Like I legitimately just saw certain groups of Xbox players celebrating exclusivity again. Do you know why? Because Forza Horizon 6 is going to be apparently a timed Xbox exclusive before it comes to PS5. And I see, and like clockwork, they're celebrating it again. Or if they're not celebrating it, they're definitely going to let you know it is a timed console exclusive, though. And I'm like, shouldn't you be fucking shitting all over that? Shouldn't you be calling that out and being like, Microsoft, what are you doing? Exclusivity's bad. Isn't that what you're supposed to do at this point? Dude, I'm seeing people in the Xbox community like bragging about the $1,000 Xbox Ally X like selling out when it's like, dude, they probably made like 15. Like what are we bragging about here, bro? Like, be excited for it. Talk about your excitement for it. Talk about how excited you are to play it. But like, what are we doing? Celebrate, like, it's $1,000 handheld. That thing's gonna sell less than 100,000 units, probably less than 50,000. Like, nobody. I'm not saying nobody wants it. I'm just saying it's like, I don't know, man. Like, Microsoft is putting these players in a very small, confined niche corner, and that's fine if they're happy to be there. But these players are out here, these specific Xbox fanboys are out here making it seem like there's like something worth flex. Like, dude, there's nothing to flex here, man. Like, there's nothing to flex here. And the war is over. It's literally over. And I get it. It's easier to point the finger at me and say, no, MBG, you're console warring because you're telling me Wolverine is a PS5 exclusive. And it's like, dude, I'm not telling you that. Sony fucking told you that. Sony told you that. Not me. It's just the behavior is strange, man. And I think it should be understood that I don't hate Xbox, and I don't hate Microsoft, and I don't hate the Xbox brand. I hate the Xbox fanboys. I hate that toxic side of that community where it's like, dude, and I hate toxic PlayStation fanboys too, because they can be just as bad, if not worse sometimes. But I just hate, like, I hate those groups of people because it's just like, dude, you claim to be you claim you're not the thing that you precisely are. You know? And they always get all upset with me because they're like, no, you MBG, that's what you. It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? They have this idea, dude. They talk about me and they talk about this community like, well, I can't speak on behalf of anybody else, but they talk about me as if I'm out here being like, let me tell you why Xbox is a fucking piece of trash, bro. The Xbox ROG Ally X belongs in the fucking dumpster. Like, I don't talk about this shit like that at all. Like, I don't. But the way they react, it's like you would think I have, and I guess this is why. It's because I call this shit out and they don't like it. They don't like it because it's like, dude, It's fucking over. Like, Phil Spencer does not give a shit about the console wars anymore, bro, because it's over. He got promoted to the head of Microsoft Gaming. Sarah Bond took his position. Sarah Bond's all about trying to combine Windows with Xbox and convert the remaining Xbox players to PC players. And you got these, like, you know, these leftover, I don't know, like outer layer, like Xbox fanboys that just don't know what to do. And so they just do the only thing they can, which is like, LOL, exclusivity's bad. It's bad. It's going away. It's going to be good for everybody. 2 weeks fucking later, Forza Horizon 6 is a timed Xbox exclusive. Like, okay. Like, okay. You get Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer comes out and says, we're not going to grow the console industry. We're not going to grow the industry by selling a $1,000 console or a $1,000 box or a device. Literally, who's selling the $1,000 device? What's the deal with all these handhelds? I don't know. I don't know, actually. I guess it's just like a thing. I mean, PlayStation's getting on board with that, you know. They're doing a handheld. Actually, Asus does. Actually, though, MBG, Asus is the one selling a $1,000 handheld with the Xbox logo. That is true. That is true. And look, man, I'm just trying to get us to a place where it's like, guys, I'm not going to say nobody. There are definitely people saying this. I am not trying to tell anybody that you should not engage with Xbox or give them your money or support Game Pass or support this $1,000 device or be excited for the next hardware they put out. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to say that these people need to stop projecting onto PlayStation and the PlayStation side of things, where it's like, you can believe in what you're supporting and you can care about what you're supporting and you can be passionate about it. But that doesn't mean that what PlayStation is doing is wrong, bad, or to the detriment of the players who are here also enjoying it on this side. That's the projection that they need to stop. And they continue to kind of run with it. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. Avowed and Starfield for PS5 next year. Avowed would be surprising. I didn't think that would come to PS5, if that's true. Starfield, I heard, is like spring. Xbox, the Xbox fanboy accounts that still console war on Twitter are the Japanese soldiers fighting 30 years after World War II ended. Pretty much, yeah. And like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell them, man. I really don't. Where it's like, listen, you tell me exclusivity is bad or exclusivity should go away. I say why. Their answer is, well, because Xbox, well, they won't, this isn't what they'll tell you, but the answer, I will answer it for them because it's the only real answer, because Xbox doesn't have exclusives anymore. That's why exclusivity should go away. If Xbox can't have exclusives, then nobody should. Well, at the very least, PlayStation shouldn't. And it's like, all right, well, then you fight that good fight and you latch on to that. But all I know is that after Helldivers 2 was announced for Xbox and released on Xbox, I was told, and I get it, I entertained it. I was told that there's more coming. Probably Spider-Man next. And maybe, who knows? Maybe it'll be announced tomorrow. With my luck, Spider-Man will be announced for Xbox tomorrow. I'm going to will these things into existence, clearly. You know, and I even saw, you know, like mock images of people showing Wolverine for Xbox and shit. And I'm like, okay, I guess these are the assumptions we're making, right? But then, you know, we actually saw what is. And what is Microsoft showed up at PlayStation's event with an Xbox Game Studios title that never released on PlayStation. They announced a PlayStation 5 version and a PlayStation VR 2 version. And then Sony announced Wolverine with a new trailer for just PS5. Yeah, if I was an Xbox player, I'm not sure what the fuck I'm holding on to at this point. I'm not like, I'm just speaking for me. Like, if I was still on the Xbox side of things, like, that would have broke me, dude. Where it's like, oh, and they announced Forza Horizon 6 is coming to PS5 as well. I would literally be like, dude, I want that Wolverine game. And I also want Forza Horizon 6. You know? I'm not saying they have to be down about it. I just don't understand why they continue. I do understand. They continue to kind of project negatively towards PlayStation fans, because the fact of the matter is, and they'll never admit this, they will never admit this, but we know it's true. We all know it's true. The fact of the matter is Sony's doing what they wish Microsoft was doing. That's just the fact of the matter. They wish Microsoft would do what Sony's. They wish that there was a more pro premium version of the Xbox Series X. They wish that Microsoft had an exclusive Wolverine game that they could be going nuts over. They just wish that this stuff would exist on the Xbox side, but instead what they get is, well, we're going to announce Forza Horizon 6, and that's great. But you ain't getting it exclusively. And you're going to have to be okay with that. And that's fine. That's a perfectly fine place to be. But the people that I encounter, it's like, dude, I know what you're about, man. It's fine. Like, it would be okay to admit it. It would be okay, because you don't have to admit it, but we all know. Everybody knows. In the same way that people know that, yeah, I am going to look at Wolverine as a PS5 exclusive and say, damn, that's pretty sick. I'm not going to complain about it being exclusive. I'll tell you that. No, I'm not. You don't need somebody to tell you that. I'm just tired of encountering these Xbox fanboy accounts where it's like, you're not holier than thou, you're not self-righteous. You're just upset because Microsoft isn't doing what you actually secretly want them to do. Nintendo is, Sony is, Microsoft isn't. And what you now need is for Sony and Nintendo to do exactly what Microsoft is doing to make it okay. And that's not what's happening. And people may view this as console warring, but the reality is, the actual reality is, I'm not the one doing the console warring, dude. Like, I'll be the first one to tell you, hey, man, buy the next Xbox. Magnus, whatever it's going to end up being called. Download Steam. Have a good time. You'll get a fair amount of Sony games, like, on top of whatever Microsoft is dropping. Like, what's the problem? I'll be the first one to tell you. Like, there is no problem. But yet I still get all this flack coming my way where it's like people still arguing about exclusivity, and it's like, dude, just let Sony run their shit the way they're going to run their shit, just like you're going to let Nintendo run their shit the way they want to run their shit. There's nothing that can be done about it. It's over.
At MBG is the same way Sega player had to accept reality. MS is not the first.
Yeah, it is different in some ways. It's similar in others, but talking about specifically the console, like, what you just said, New Soul, it kind of reminds me of like the news recently that Costco is just not selling Xbox anymore after, another price increase. And it's like, I'm just saying, man, like, the reason for being excited for Xbox, what it means to be excited for Xbox, I think has changed. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I think it's changed and I think it's transformed entirely. And I don't really see like what I see most often. Now, granted, maybe this is because of my position and what I talk about here, but what I see most often is I get these accounts, like I'm saying, that are like, and let me tell you why it's better than PlayStation and PlayStation's doing it wrong. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, dude, I can assure you, like, things are going pretty damn good here on the PlayStation side. Like, what are you talking about? And it's a projection of insecurity, and that's obvious because, you know, like, who was it? Tarnished who said it earlier. Where it's like, dude, in 2026, PS5 is going to be the only place where you can play Wolverine and GTA 6. Like, I don't know about anybody else out there, but it's like, holy shit, that's where I want to be. Yeah, that's where I want to be. I don't want to be somewhere where I got to wait a fucking year or two. Now, are there games I'm willing to wait for? Sure. Sure. But those two games, not them. Not those games. So, I don't know, man. To each their own, I suppose. PlayStation had no games, but Xbox guys are celebrating being able to play PlayStation games on Steam. MVG, make it make sense, please. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the most common thing we've seen is somehow it's reversed. It's like PlayStation has no games, and it's like, dude, I think what you mean to say is PlayStation doesn't have the most games; they have some of the best games. That's just like, dude, it's not my problem if people don't want to play Death Stranding 2. Like, that's your problem. Like, Death Stranding 2 is one of the best fucking games ever made. And if you can't see that and you're not willing to give that a chance, no offense, but it's just like, that's not my problem. Guys, hold on. Hold on. Can you guys hear me okay? I don't know. There's something going on. Jake, thank you for that. Yeah, I'll see if I can check that. Um, is it better now? Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. How's it now? We good? Good? I think we're good. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I keep getting this notification. I don't know what's going on with the audio. Hopefully it's okay. My mic has been hacked. I'll just have to hope that it's okay. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just going on a little bit of a tangent. saying, in fact, MBG, Death Stranding 2 is not even in the family of PlayStation so-called exclusives category. Well, see, I don't know, man. I just, right now, you can only play it on PS5. Like, I'm not saying that for any other reason that is just the current fact. You know, that is the fact. If you were to tell me that it will eventually be on PC, that is also a fact. I will say correct. But can you tell me when? For how long? And that's all. I'm just trying to make the argument that, like, dude, Death Stranding 2. I'm just saying, if that was an Xbox exclusive, I would have bought a fucking Xbox to play it. Period. End of discussion. Like, that's all it boils down to. That's all I'm saying. Just like Wolverine, if I was still on Xbox and I saw Wolverine, I'd be like, bro, I'm fucking trading in my Xbox like that day. I'm selling it. You know, like I'm getting a Pro. I just, you know, when I heard that Forza Horizon 6 was not coming, like when I first saw the announcement, I just saw Xbox Series consoles and PC, and I was like, oh, shit, I might have to play this on PC, or maybe I will. Well, I don't know. Xbox did go up in price. Maybe I'll play it on my PC then, you know, or I'll consider getting an Xbox. But then I saw, like, no, they confirmed it's coming to PlayStation. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay, sweet. Like, I was excited, but I'm like, you almost had me. Like, I was gonna do that. And I thought that makes sense. They gave me Forza Horizon 5. They enticed me for Forza Horizon 6, but they're like, no, we're gonna bring it to PS5. They always conjure bad faith assumptions without substantiation. As in, you're a crying fanboy that can't handle the truth. You have to play their own game. What they really want is Xbox to return to exclusives. Yeah, my PC is still pretty good overall. We could definitely run games pretty well. No Xbox exclusive game ever made me want to go out and buy one. I mean, there are a couple I would. Like State of Decay 3, Forza Horizon 6. Here's Worry Days looking promising. OD. Will OD get a physical? I don't know, man. I'm going to say probably not. But that's the thing, dude. Like, you know, the big angle that people have for me right now that they continue to latch onto is like, oh, you know, you grifted the PlayStation. It's like, no, you fucking idiot. Like, what do you, like, dude, do these people not realize that I could have at any moment in the last 5 to 6 years been like, you know what, PlayStation kind of sucks again. I'm going to go talk about this now. It's not a grift. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people do throw that term around too loosely. And it's like, bro, I'm out here platinuming like games on PlayStation. What are you talking about? This is the opposite of a grift. Like, people, this is why I think it's funny that they try to latch on to this, where it's like, the funniest shit I've seen recently is people being like, MBG just secretly wishes he could come back to Xbox, but that's okay. We don't want him back here anyway. And it's like, bro, Phil, the company, the corporation that you are in alignment with told me that my PlayStation is an Xbox. Like, I'm already here, bro. I don't know how else to, I hate to break it to you, but it's like, I'm already here. I already came back, and it's not by choice. Like, Microsoft literally forced me. They said, we're going to bring you in, whether you like it or not. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, that's right. Your PlayStation's an Xbox. I'm like, well, I can't argue with that fucking logic. When you're dropping your games on my PlayStation, I guess so. Yeah, they gave me a review code for Forza Horizon 5, which was very kind of them. And that's cool. It's a fantastic game. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, what are you guys talking about? This is why I feel like I'm not the one in the bubble of delusion. You don't have to like my takes. You don't have to agree with my takes. But literally what I'm saying right now is just factual. It is just it is the way it is. I didn't make the decision. Microsoft made the decision. And that's what's weird. It feels like sometimes certain groups of Xbox fanboys are taking out their frustration over the decisions that Microsoft made out on me or people in the space where it's like, dude, it's not my fault. Like I told you guys what I wanted. I want what you secretly want. I told Microsoft, like, make some banger ass exclusives that force my ass to go buy an Xbox. And I will. Show me the good shit, you know? Of course, with my own personal preferences in mind. That's what I advocated for. Tarnished. I know. That's why I can't even do it anymore, bro. I go on the profiles of the people who criticize me the harshest, and I look at what they're doing, and I'm like, I need a cigarette. I don't even smoke. I need a cigarette, dude. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. Thank you, Generic White Mally. I appreciate that. I don't know, man. It's just I'm trying to understand the angles that people are coming from. And there are some that I can understand and they make total sense. But unfortunately, there are also just as many, if not sometimes more, where it's like, okay, like Nick says I'm going to go smoke a cigarette right now. There's just weird. There's this weird energy that I just constantly pick up on, and it constantly comes my way where it's like you hate, like, you guys fucking hate Xbox. You PlayStation fanboys. You'll eat up everything Sony does, and you will fucking absolutely shit on everything Microsoft does. And I'm like, dude, I don't know who are you talking about? It's like, you MBG, you damn hypocrite. I'm talking about. It's like, bro, What do you mean? What are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's kind of expected. Yeah, how I feel on the inside reading this stuff. No, more like how the Xbots feel when they see that Wolverine trailer. Soros. Ghost of Yote. Xbox price increase. $1,000 Xbox handheld. I mean, I get it. When you have that much, I don't know, man. Look, the truth is, don't. Or even like the PC. What did you call it, Tarn? I don't know. Is there a name like the PC grift enthusiast? I don't know what the hell. I can't even keep up anymore, man. It's we're seeing a lot of new age grifting. It's expected. I don't have a problem. I don't have as much of a problem with this stuff as I make it seem like. I guess my only wish is that the people who have seemingly such a problem with this side of it, right? It's like, it's not so bad over here, guys. I'm just saying. It's not as bad as you think. I'm not saying you got to buy a Pro. I'm not saying you got to subscribe to PlayStation Plus. I'm not saying you got to buy everything Sony does, but I'm just saying, look, man, it wouldn't be so bad to buy a PS5 for Soros. It wouldn't be so bad to buy a PS5 for Wolverine. It wouldn't be so bad to just embrace some of the stuff that's going on over here, because I don't know. I've been there. I've been there. I know what it's like to kind of see Xbox going in some different directions that you weren't anticipating. And it's fine if you're on board with that. But I'm just saying that when people told me, like, MBG, look, man, I think you're going to like a lot of what's over here. You don't got to go full PlayStation nation, but I think there's some stuff you're going to like over here. I'm just trying to extend that over as well. And you can still, and there's nothing wrong. Like, if you want to stick with Xbox, I'm just saying, dude, Microsoft is going more and more publisher, and they'll still do some hardware like we talk about, but I just don't think it's going to be such a bad thing if you just kind of see the PlayStation. I wish the people who have such a big problem with me and what we talk about over here, I just wish they would see things in a slightly different light sometimes, or at least consider it, where it's like, exclusives don't have to be the worst thing ever. They don't have to be the villain all the time, Like, they really don't. Like, you can kind of see it in a glass half full type of way, and it's like, no, only a dumb fanboy would think that. It's like, well, I don't. Okay, if that's where you want to exist, and that's the only space, that's the only thought that can exist, fine. But I have to say I'm quite pleased with. I went into this generation with a lot of expectation and a lot of excitement, and I'm not saying it's all been perfect. There have been some bumps along the way, absolutely, but I just think generally speaking, it's like, yeah, man, when I talk about 2026 being a wild year for the PS5, I'm not saying that I'm not trying to say that in an over exaggerated, Wojak face or Soyjack or what the fuck ever, like, oh my God. I'm just saying, like, it's actually looking kind of fucking nuts. So, like, I'm not sure where else I would rather be. And sure, that may make me a PlayStation fanboy or whatever, where people are going to use that as they want and weaponize it. But it's like, all right, bro, I don't know. I don't know. To each their own, I suppose. I wish they would reciprocate that. You know what I mean? I think that's all I wish for. Is I wish that they would just be like, you know what, man? I'm happy that you're happy with PlayStation. They don't have to do what Microsoft is doing. They can keep doing their thing, and I'm happy you're happy, and I'm happy where I am. I feel like that just doesn't. It's not really much of a thing anymore. But guys, by the way, we're going to be streaming for about 12 more minutes, give or take. 12 to maybe 20 more minutes max. So if you want to... Oh, yeah, we got to do the Wolverine breakdown. I knew I was forgetting something. Hold on. So if you want to drop any more support... Oh, hold on. I'm going to have to... If you want to drop any more member gifts, if you want to become a channel member, if you want to drop any more super chats or direct donations, now would be the time to do it within the next 10 minutes or so. I'm going to remove these just for a second. And
welcome back.
Hold on one sec. I'm trying to get it set up here. Okay, so I haven't seen this yet, so I'm curious. And guys, make sure you're hitting that like button.
To New Rockstars, I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of the new gameplay trailer for Marvel's Wolverine, the new Insomniac game coming in 2026, finally! While New Rockstars might be better known for covering nerdy movies and TV, hey, if something's Marvel and if it looks this good and has a coin flip's chance to snicked into an adjacent Spider-Man IP, then you better believe we're gonna break down the Easter eggs of said thing. So I'm gonna go through this Wolverine gameplay trailer frame by frame for everything you might have missed, because there are quite a few Easter eggs in this. And if you love Marvel anything, missing. I'm wearing the shirt Tom Holland happened to be wearing in set videos for Spider-Man Brand New Day, a shirt for Delmar's Deli, the place with the best bodega cat in the MCU. And if you want to grab one of these shirts over at nerdriot.shop from our exclusive merch store, it's really the best way you can support what we're doing here at New Rockstars. Okay, Insomniac first announced Marvel's Wolverine in the PlayStation Showcase event in September 2021 with a bit of teaser footage that showed us Wolverine from behind and a close-up of his knuckles when he was sitting at the bar called the Princess Bar of Madripoor that we see the outside of in this new trailer. At the time, the developers of Marvel's Wolverine suggested that the standalone game shares continuity with the Insomniac Marvel Spider-Man games, but we don't know for sure how connected it will be to those storylines. The game has been delayed for so long that some fans begin to lose hope, but then this week on September 24th at State of Play, Sony announced that it would release on PS5 in fall 2026. Liam McIntyre is playing James Logan Howlett, aka Wolverine, in this game, making him the second Australian to play the Canadian mutant superhero. The gameplay trailer opens with a bit of a teaser to the rest of the footage, including a close-up of Wolverine's blood-stained face as he growls, and I love how you can make out all the tiny indentations in the pores of his face. Next, we see Logan in a different outfit,
Oh my god. Yo, look at the enemy's face as he's being lifted up by Wolverine, bro. Oh my god. Yo, Fred, what's going on, dude? Yo, bro is grifting on Wolverine. I mean, that's what my face would look like too. Holy shit. The way this guy talks is pissing you off, Nick. What if I talk like this all the time? I'm not trying to, I understand it's not, I don't think he really talks like that. A lot of these channels, it's like kind of not, I do it sometimes on my videos. You gotta like, all right, guys, we're going to be checking out this Wolverine breakdown trailer. If you like it, make sure you like the stream. Like, God, you can tell, like, you can see the anger coming through me. You could feel it. You barely survived the 4 days of moshing. Damn, Fred. Yeah, where did you mosh? We know that, bro, but it's awful. Wolverine's going to be a PS5 exclusive. I don't know. I'm losing it. I'm getting to that point. Did you go to acting school in MBG? I did not. Why do you ask? You would pay good money to watch MBG take on promised consort Radon in a live stream. The amount of anger we'd be seeing would be generational. Dude, I don't know what that is. Is that from Elden Ring Night Rain? I'm good. I don't need that in my life. I don't. My impersonations are pretty good. Well, thanks. Thanks. I try, I guess. I don't know. Oh, man. All right, let's on. We still got a ways to go at this. We've got a multitude of facial expressions.
Having his claws up through this cybernetically enhanced dude. This is a Reaver. The Reavers are the cybernetic enforcers from throughout the X-Men comics, and technically the group of mercenaries led by Boyd Holbrook's Donald Pierce in the 2017 Logan film. Yeah, those were Reavers. The Reavers we now see throughout this gameplay trailer include the white armored ones, and they all seem to have this specific logo on the chest plate that is...
Okay, are we at a fucking... Dude. Oh my god. Irfan, I know that you aren't expecting this, and it's not your fault, but it's like, we're really at a point where we have to blur. We have to blur some of the gore, because it's like, really, like, dude. Okay. All right. I guess, like, I don't know. Like, if this was like The Last of Us 2, I guess, maybe with some of the shit that you could, but come on, bro. Like, I don't know. It's just weak to me. Come on, man. I don't know. Maybe they got like a lot of kids watching this channel. I don't know.
the Trask Industries logo. So Bolivar Trask, in addition to building the Sentinels, is also the man and the company behind the Reavers of this story. And yes, we do know that they will be called the Reavers according to a PlayStation blog, and also in the Behind the Claws video released with this trailer, we do see animation of Wolverine with his arm around another one of these soldiers, and that guy's chest plate has very clearly the word Reaver on it. When he's stabbing this Reaver, Wolverine is in a part of Madripoor, the low town of Madripoor. You can see a variety of languages besides English on the signs, as Madripoor is a city where all walks of life from all over the globe end up settling in to engage in illegal and unethical trades. But specifically, there are 3 languages we see. These red characters on the right are Chinese, translating to import goods store. The triangular traffic sign where we see Barry Lualan is in the language of Malay, and it translates to give way or yield. Similarly, above, we see the market district sign. Beneath that is Kawasan Pasar, which is Malay for market area. So yeah, we're seeing a mix of English, Chinese, and Malay because Madripoor is located in Southeast Asia in the Indonesian archipelago, not far from Singapore. We also see Logan fighting Omega Red, one of 2 big X-Men villains that are confirmed in this trailer to appear in the game. Omega Red, Arkady Rosevich, is a Russian mutant who has these carbonadium coils in his wrists and the ability to drain the life force of others. He's also known for at times giving off a poisonous pheromone called death spores. I love how much bigger Omega Red looks than Wolverine here, and all
in
the
other words,
details
he smells
of him
like
super
shit.
comic accurate. I mean, Wolverine should be shorter and stockier, at least compared to other known X-Men villains, even if he is comparatively tall to some of the Reavers he beats up here. Then as the trailer begins in proper, we hear Liam's voice as Wolverine.
Been fighting longer than I can remember.
Longer than I can remember is some intentional wording there because the developers confirmed that the Wolverine of this game is an unreliable narrator with gaps in his memory, and the adventures we'll be going through as him in this game is Wolverine trying to fill in those gaps in his memory. Then as Wolverine stabs through a Reaver in ways we're probably gonna have to hold back a bit from showing you, we do see that the Reaver still bleeds while electricity sizzles from his severed cybernetic parts, because while he is a cyborg, yeah, he does still have human tissue mixed in there that bleeds, and how much blood we're gonna get in this game is part of what makes all this footage look so cool. Actually, it looks like it was splitting open this Reaver that got Wolverine so soaked in blood, and I appreciate this detail that you can see some of that blood in his gums between his teeth. Based on what we're able to see from this footage, it looks like Wolverine's gonna have 3 different outfits, and that they won't all necessarily regenerate as he goes, so that as you start to get torn up, just pieces of whatever he's wearing are gonna stay torn up, and they're gonna stay bloodied up. So maybe by the end of an area, you can be completely drenched in blood, and you'll stay that way. Wolverine steps into the Princess Bar of Madripoor. The Princess Bar is a known location from the Marvel Comics. It's in the Lowtown part of the city, and it was frequented by Wolverine, specifically when he was under his Patch identity. Patch actually showed up for a cameo in 2024's Deadpool and Wolverine, and we never got confirmation that that casino was the Princess Bar, but I always thought that it was. Beneath the neon pink princess sign, the characters beneath that are Chinese letters that translate to the word bar, and as he walks inside, the bartender working the bar is wearing a green dress. Some are saying that this could end up being Viper. Now, when they first released these shots of the bar in 2021, there were already some Easter eggs that were visible there. A sign for Radio Lowtown 1048 FM on the left, a reference to 1048 being the numerical designation for the universe in which the Spider-Man PlayStation games take place, Earth 1048. The register reads 1974, and 1974 was the year of Wolverine's first full appearance in the comics, which brings us to this detail over on the right, a Quebec license plate reading HLK 181, and the Incredible Hulk 181 in 1974 was that comic in which Wolverine made his first full appearance. I like to make the shelves in my home into tiny little museums of fandom. I got one shelf for Marvel, one shelf for DC, one shelf for Spielberg, you get the idea. Every shelf has books and figurines and collectibles that I've meticulously collected and curated over the years, but my new favorite way to find my favorite things to display is Whatnot, hands down. Whatnot is a live stream shopping app where you can buy, sell, or auction literally anything. Last time we were browsing Whatnot,
We are done. We are done here. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. We'll have to finish the, I actually am out of time. I do have plans that I can't be late for, and I just realized we will have to finish it maybe later, but this is why I tell you guys, I try to keep it sponsor free. No worries, Irfan. It's all good, bro. We'll finish it. Hopefully. Actually, don't be surprised if we don't. I'm sorry. Boss. But yeah, guys, let me just bring this back here. This is going to wrap up the stream I do want to thank everybody for tuning in today. All right. Yeah, so thank you for tuning in, and also thank you to everybody who, you know, can't tune in live, but maybe we'll watch it later. I really appreciate it. Want to give a big shout out to Silent Spartan. He dropped 50 membership gifts for you guys. Silent Spartan, thank you so much for that, man. Doing some heavy lifting. And to everybody else who dropped any member gifts, any super chats, or direct donations, you guys are the reason I can do this. And I'm very grateful for it. So thank you so much. And I'm just going to ask you to hit that like button as you're filing out. And I also want to give a shout out to Devil Shooter, who does the timestamps for the streams. So if you guys see Devil Shooter in the comments with those timestamps, give him some love, show him some thanks. I know he appreciates it. And yeah, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode of Press X Podcast. We should be back tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. I'll see what topics we have to discuss. And yeah, so guys, please enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, take care, everyone.